ESPN on ABC.
This college football Saturday begins here in Memphis. The Tigers are ready to roar, wanting to show the SEC what they're all about. As this team makes their walk to today's big test, they do so as a program that knows nothing but success. Back-to-back 10-win seasons and a real shot at the college football playoffs this year. But they're dealing with the big, and I mean big, strong, powerful Hogs. Arkansas is one of the best offenses in the country. Talon Green at quarterback, he's putting up incredible stats. Memphis counters with Brendan Lewis, a confident, hardworking, well-traveled veteran, very capable of pulling this one off today. From Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium in Memphis, we welcome you to the American Conference on ESPN. ABC College Football is presented by Starbucks. For the first time since '98, these teams meet. A talented 2-1 Arkansas team taking on 3-0 Memphis. Good afternoon, everybody. Glad you're with us. Joe Tessitore alongside Jesse Palmer. And listen, you look at the way the conference schedule sets up, you know how this Memphis team plays. There is a really good chance that this Memphis team could be in the college football playoff by the end of the season. But our focus today, a lot of it is going to be on this Arkansas offense, Jesse, and their outstanding quarterback.
Yeah, one thing I know about Arkansas, Joe, they can score on absolutely anybody. They are explosive. They've got a good offensive line. They've got talented skill players. Bobby Petrino calling plays, but it's that guy right there. Quarterback Talon Green. He's the guy that makes it go. I think one of the best quarterbacks in the country that no one's really talking about. He's a true dual threat quarterback, can hurt you throwing it, running it. He's putting up Heisman numbers right now. All in all, this has been the most explosive offense in the country. They're gaining at least 10 yards, 1 in every 3 plays. It's just remarkable.
Yeah, a week ago they felt like they really gave one away against Ole Miss. Here comes Memphis out here. They've been rolling. They've won 9 straight at home. Memphis has the longest active win streak in the FBS. We'll be back with kickoff after these messages and a word from our ABC stations.
Today is your day. You've been built for moments like this. Do your job with great focus and relentless effort. Win your one-on-ones. Have fun and be relentless. Go out there and play with great confidence.
From one motivational speech to another, Sam Pittman gives one each week specific to Arkansas's opponent. So this week he threw up on the board all the Power 4 opponents that Memphis has played since 2020. The Tigers are 4-2 in those matchups. Even more impressive is they're 3-0 in their last 3 games against SEC teams here at Liberty Stadium. So this is a team that wins often, even more so when they play here at home. Pittman's message was simple, Tess. Bring your best. Your opponent demands it.
They do demand it. This Memphis team has been consistently winning with a culture put forth by Ryan Silverfield that Sam Pittman has great respect for. Arkansas won the toss. They elect to receive. Gianni Spedic kicks away. Rodney Hill cannot return it, and we say hello to statistically the guy who's been red hot to start the year, Talon Green, Jesse.
Talon Green, I think, is the best athlete on the field. And we talked in the open about him being a dual threat quarterback, leads the nation in touchdown passes, leads all quarterbacks in the country in rushing yards. He's 6'6", he's 240 pounds, and he's playing in his 2nd year now in Bobby Petrino's offense. So, Joe, this is a guy playing with a lot of confidence, and you're seeing that early this season.
And he is taken down and tackled for a loss right away to open up this game. It's DeMarco Ward, the safety.
And DeMarco Ward, he was reading this zone read coming on a safety blitz, and he just hit it at the right time. The transfer from Florida State found the crease. Talon Green held on to the football. No chance to do anything, and a big negative play early for Memphis.
Here's Green to pass on 2nd and 13. Goes with the shallow cross to a mega Blake, a dynamic playmaker, and he's got the first down. Impact players are brought to you by Fairfield by Marriott.
Well, when it starts with Arkansas offensively, Omega Blake at receiver is going to do a lot of damage over the middle of the field. Fernando Carmona, their left guard's the best offensive lineman I've evaluated on film this year. Sam Brumfield does everything for Memphis at middle linebacker, plays with relentless effort getting to the football.
16-yard reception by Blake. Play action. Green, look at the time he has, and wide open downfield is Rohan Jones. Call those Hogs.
And it's a big coverage bust early. DeMarco Ward made the big play in the backfield at safety on the first play of the game, but that time he completely lost Rohan Jones coming out from the fullback position on the corner route. And Joe, we talked about Arkansas being an explosive offense. It feels like they can score at any given moment. And the Hogs already on the board.
62-yard touchdown strike. Starzik adds the extra point. Rohan Jones, who's got the size, he's got the speed.
And this is him just running this corner route. It's DeMarco Ward responsible in coverage, and the play fake, he totally forgets where his assignment is. And Rohan Jones from where, Joe?
Montreal,
Quebec, Canada.
He speaks fluent French, so he can order the proper Renard champagne to pair with the Razor clams at Chuck Hughes' place.
And tout le monde connaît qu'il jouait à Collège André Grasset du Cégep à Montréal. Exceptionnel, and there it is.
Exceptionnel indeed. I love having a bilingual partner up in the booth when Rohan Jones scores like that.
I was just waiting for Rohan Jones to make one play in this game. And lo and behold, a minute and 10 seconds into this thing, here we are. Well, this is what we were talking about today with this explosive offense, right? 1 in every 3 plays is going for at least 10 yards. And you're going to see throughout the course of this thing, Joe, they can hurt you throwing the football, and they can hurt you running it as well. They've got a lot of skill, and they're very, very balanced.
A tackle for loss to open up the game. The next thing you know, right down the field. And now this is the guy who has to match offense with Green. It is Brendan Lewis, who's well-traveled. He started at Colorado. Obviously, Coach Prime goes there. He decides to move on. He goes to Nevada, Jesse, with 23 starts. So he comes here to Memphis with tons of experience.
Yeah, and Joe, I think he's a pretty good player. And I think he might be getting overshadowed by Taylor Green in this one. But he's a dual threat, too. He feels very comfortable throwing from the pocket. He's averaging 6 yards every time he runs the football, and he's got lots of poise. He'll need that today.
Here's Lewis looking for an option, and he gets it complete to Cortez Braham. Katie.
Yeah, Tess, good news for Memphis. Running back gwes-eas is available today after missing the last 2 games with a left foot injury. He was finally able to practice this week. He's not on a pitch count per se, but they're going to follow his lead. It's pain tolerance situation, so they'll use him as much as he can handle.
And Katie, as we know, Sutton Smith has been playing well in his absence. He had 113 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground last night. And this is Sutton Smith, and look at him keep his balance for a first down.
Well, Sutton Smith has fantastic vision. They love the zone scheme up front. This offensive line are just kind of working on tracks, and the ball can really go anywhere here. It's supposed to go to the right, but the 5'9", 185-pound running back sees the cutback, puts his foot in the ground. He's got the burst. This guy ripped off a 50-yard run last week against Troy, Joe. He's a home run waiting to happen. He provides the explosive plays for Memphis's offense.
10-yard run by Smith there. Play action, Lewis. And that is incomplete as he was unable to find Caldwell.
We got impact players now presented by Fairfield, and for on offense for Memphis, it's actually Cortez Braham at wide receiver who you saw make the first catch. Sutton Smith was a guy we just saw have a nice run early as well. Defensively for Arkansas, Xavier Sorey, one of the best linebackers you'll see in the SEC, and up front, Cameron Ball getting it done at defensive tackle.
2nd and 10. Lewis is going to run the ball. He does so effectively as he's inside the 40-yard line to move the chains. Steven Dix with the tackle.
One thing you're going to see with Memphis, Joe, is they want to run the ball. They run it 56% of the time, and they do a lot of different things, primarily the zone play. You're going to see it over and over and over, and I think the game plan for Memphis is pretty simple in this one. They want to own the clock, stay on the field, try to keep tailing Green, and that explosive Arkansas offense on the sideline.
Yeah, explosive offense that only took 70 seconds out of the gate to hit on a big play touchdown. Lewis wants one of his own, but he's unable to connect with Cortez Braham, as Julian Neal had covered.
And it's a good idea, I think, early to test this secondary a little bit. Arkansas playing without their best cornerback, Kenai Walker, in this one. So I think if you're Brendan Lewis, when you get the one-on-one chances outside, you want to take a shot. That time going against Julian Neal, the transfer from Fresno State. It's going to be run, 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 take a shot. I think that's the game plan offensively for Memphis.
Katie mentioned that gwes-eas was able to practice this week, and he is back in as the running back after being injured earlier this season. Lewis trying to survive the pocket. Somehow he does on 2nd and 10. But it's incomplete downfield, looking for Hawkins.
Well, it was the Florida transfer Justice Boone that got in there first, and I have no idea how Brendan Lewis was able to stay on his feet through this. But we talked about the poise, the 6th-year senior. Everything breaks down. He doesn't freak out. He keeps the play alive, avoids the sack. Ball sailing on him a little bit on that one. Now 3rd down, you got to be concerned about #1 Phillip Lee in the pass rush coming off the edge. Their left tackle, Chris Adams, gave up 2 sacks last week against Troy. Phillip Lee for Arkansas, he's their best pure pass rusher, coming around the outside.
3rd and 10, he's coming after him, but the ball gets out and is complete as Braham turns the corner for that line to gain. That was the first 3rd down of the game for either team.
And that's tremendous poise, again, by Brendan Lewis. He's going to have a free rusher coming right into his grill. It's Xavier Sorry. Nobody blocks him. He's still able to step into that and deliver an accurate ball.
Diamond formation to the top of your screen is now they will motion back. Lewis is going to run it as he is able to dart ahead inside the 25-yard line, met by Boone.
Well, the diamond formation is something Memphis hasn't shown on film yet. You saw a little bit of motion. They're trying to get Arkansas to declare, and they've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys in the box. With that number, with 5 O-linemen, that's the signal for Brendan Lewis to take off running with it because he had the advantage in the run game numbers.
gwes-eas on 2nd and 5. He tries to spin free, and he does a nice job of finding room, and he's right to that line of game.
And you're in the red zone now if you're Memphis. That's been a really good area to be early this season. They've scored 9 touchdowns on 10 red zone drives. Easily one of the most efficient offenses in the entire country when they get to this area of the field.
Tenth play of this drive coming up for Memphis. gwes-eas this time can't find much as he is tackled for a loss of 2 with great pursuit from the front 7 of the Hogs.
Well, it's good to see gwes-eas back in the lineup. You're going to probably see, my guess is 4 different running backs in this one for Memphis. They're going to keep rotating fresh bodies in and see if they can wear Arkansas down. A big mass substitution now for Arkansas, Joe. They've been on the field a long time. Their leader, Xavier Sorry, has come out. So this is a big moment here early in the game for Arkansas's defense.
Mentioned Phillip Lee. You'll see him off the edge at the top of your screen on 2nd and 12. Play action. Lewis with time and overthrows a wide open Christian Ross, who had separated.
Yeah, they were just trying to sneak Ross at tight end out, and this was a defense that had a lot of coverage busts in their last game against Ole Miss. You're going to see it right here. He's just clearing through. That time he got behind the defense. It was actually Phillip Lee, the defensive end that you just mentioned, Joe, but an overthrow again. We've seen a few of those. Some errant throws early in this one on the first drive by Brendan Lewis. He's got to settle down a little bit.
So Travis Williams, defensive coordinator for the Hogs. What does his defense come up with on 3rd and 12? Lewis being backed up all the way back to the 37-yard line, where he's going to have to throw it away. Philip Lee was pursuing.
Yeah, nice job by Arkansas. Twists and stunts. You had Philip Lee was the guy getting the first bit of pressure that forced Brendan Lewis out to the right, but everybody just stayed in their lane. Brendan Lewis is a guy, if he feels a crease, he's going to take off, nowhere to go with it, forced to throw away. Nice job there by Arkansas's defense with their backs against the wall in the red zone.
So that means Gianni Spedic comes out for the field goal attempt. Spedic, his first year at Memphis, has already had success. Hit a 55-yarder earlier this year. This from 38. And that is how the Tigers cap a long drive. But the day started with Rohan Jones, the 62-yard touchdown catch. This high-flying Hogs offense back out there when we return to Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. Now there's one of the best in the biz, the 6'6", 235-pound Talon Green, starting quarterback for Arkansas, who already had a big strike to open up the day. 2 for 2, 78 yards, the 62-yard touchdown as we're here. You can see the renovations like a Rector set over there on the other side of this Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium here in Memphis. When they're done, they'll put on a show. They go for the onside. They tried to catch them off guard, but it didn't work out. Really nice awareness that time by the special teams unit for Arkansas. Sometimes you got to just roll the dice.
This is Cam Settles at running back playing up the up position there for Arkansas, and just it took a skip right into his belly, but nice job being aware. Obviously Ryan Silverfield, the head coach of Memphis, he's going to take chances early, knowing that they got to be able to come up and steal possessions in order to win this game, being aggressive. But now because it doesn't work, Arkansas right at midfield.
Yeah, 47-yard line for Arkansas. Mike Washington is in that I formation. Great little running back. He will take the pitch and gets it past midfield.
Well, you're going to see a very large volume of run plays from Arkansas. It's different personnel groupings and formations, but it's zone plays and it's gap schemes and it's pulling offensive linemen, QB under center, QB in the gun, I formation, QB runs, jet sweeps. There is a lot to prepare for if you're Memphis coming into this one, just to try to handle Arkansas's run game on offense.
Washington again, and he stopped right at the line of scrimmage this time as Drew Watts makes the tackle. It'll be 3rd down.
On 3rd down, I think it's really important for Memphis. They're going to try and put a lot of movement from their defensive line. They're going to stunt and twist and see if they can create confusion. You've got to stay in your lanes, though, against Talon Green. You have to have really good pass rush lane integrity, because number 10 for Arkansas will take off if he sees a crease.
First 3rd down that Arkansas has faced. They got pressure and incomplete as Talon Green was dealing with Drew Watts coming in.
Yeah, they were mugging the line of scrimmage, and there was a stunt and movement up front like we talked about. 2 guys going this way, and it's Drew Watts coming back around. The center and the right guard have to kind of take the 2 guys right in their face, and that leaves a clear path for Drew Watts. Really incredible job, Joe, by Memphis's defense there. After giving the ball to Arkansas at midfield in the failed onside kick attempt, forcing a 3 and out. That's incredibly good.
Devin Bale looking for the pin punt here. And they're going to have a chance, and they do. That was outstanding by Bale to put it inside the 10. And then the coverage with the defensive back, Miguel Mitchell, putting his heels right on the 1-yard line. Flag is down. We will check on that.
Illegal formation. More than 4 players in the backfield, including the 22. It's a 5-yard penalty. We play 4th down.
Man, it is the little things that make such a big difference. So the illegal formation, based on how they were lined up in punt and with that shield, cost them what would have been pinning Memphis inside the 1-yard line.
It's hard to do as a golfer. I mean, I'll never experience this in my life, but I can only imagine having a pitching wedge and someone saying, okay, from about 130 out, put it within 1 foot of the cup. You do it. Then all of a sudden they come to you again and say, sorry, you got to back up 5 yards and do it again.
Right.
Not easy to do.
Let's see how David Bale deals with that. It's the back rotation. Wow. Puts it inside the 10 before it dribbles back out. And listen, it doesn't seem like much, but just think about the difference in field position when you're that compromised inside the 1. The home of the Blues. We're in Memphis, Tennessee on a great college football Saturday. Hogs up 7-3.
ABC College Football is presented by the Starbucks Coffee Company and in part by the Sonic Smasher. Buy one, get one free in the Sonic app. Live free, eat Sonic.
How good is this storyline coming up later when Oklahoma and Auburn go at it? Jackson Arnold returning to Oklahoma. He was one of the biggest recruits you could have. Things didn't work out perfectly.
Right.
Goes to Auburn, and now the way this Auburn team is playing, he's back.
Yeah, and imagine him just trying to handle those emotions, playing against his old team, playing against Brett Venables, who's calling plays defensively now for Oklahoma as well. In that environment, what a big moment, an unbelievable opportunity for Jackson Arnold. Can't wait.
Brendan Lewis back out on the field with the Memphis Tigers. Had a long drive that went 13 plays, 55 yards, was capped with the field goal. Defense just did a really nice job moments ago. They went for the surprise onside kick, and they were able to hold Arkansas's offense. Sutton Smith, really nice run fit that time by Bradley Shaw, the linebacker for the Hogs.
Yeah, it's a good point what you just made about Arkansas's defense, Joe, holding Memphis to just 3 points. That's the key, I think, in this game. You just got to make Memphis earn it. They've had too many unforced errors this year, too many coverage busts, calls getting in late, guys not lining up. They've allowed 14 explosive plays in the last 2 games. I think it killed them against Ole Miss. That's why they lost that game. They've got to be more sound in this one.
Play action. Lewis all the way back to his own end zone, being chased, and he has to throw it away.
Well, that time, Travis Williams, the D coordinator for Arkansas, dials up the corner blitz. It was Julian Neal coming off the edge. Brendan Lewis felt it. And in this area backed up, I'm curious to know if Arkansas's defense is going to try and stay aggressive here and see if they can even get more pressure. 3rd down. And is it one of those deals where you just play back, you play safe, try to keep the ball in front of you and force a punt? Or because you've had success now dialing up pressure, do you do it again?
Travis Williams' defense is going to back off. 4-man rush here on 3rd and 10, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Bussey.
You know, Jess, after that Ole Miss loss last Saturday, Sam Pittman said they just needed to simplify things on defense moving forward. He said in that Ole Miss game that you mentioned, Jesse, guys in the secondary were looking over to the sideline for the play call. The D-line wasn't lined up when Ole Miss was just snapping the ball. And he said, instead, we need to get our guys pre-snap looks. Let them line up and listen to the quarterback, ID the running back, and just let them play fast. So simplifying things on that defensive side was definitely a point of emphasis this week in practice.
Kerrigan punting from his own end zone to the dangerous return man Shanks. And Shanks, excellent coverage downfield as they were able to surround Cam Shanks. That was Jaden Flaker on the tackle.
Well, we were all just talking about the coverage bust that really hurt Arkansas in a big game last week on the road at Ole Miss. You see here a wheel route by the tight end. Nobody takes him at the linebacker level or at DB. This is early in the game. It ended up completely flipping the field for Arkansas defensively. And then later in the game, down in the red zone, you got 2 receivers, 2 guys running crossing routes. One of them completely wide open in the back of the end zone. So what Katie was just talking about, what Sam Pittman told her, it's a good idea. Just give the guys a call, even if it's not the perfect play call on defense. Just trust your eyes, go play fast, and go play confidently.
Green on 1st down. That ball is intercepted. That is Jaden Dennis with the pickoff.
And just a bad decision and late throw that time by Taylon Green. Originally, everything was taken away in coverage. And so there was nowhere to go with it. I thought for a second he might try to take off and run with it, but as he got to the line of scrimmage, there were some defenders bearing down on him. And this is one that just has to go out of bounds. Just not enough arm on that throw, trying to get it to Omega Blake down the boundary. And a really big play by Jaden Dennis taking over for the injured Chauncey Logan Jr. that we talked about early. A massive takeaway for Memphis's defense.
Now they're celebrating with that WWE belt over there after the turnover. Of course, there'll be a lot of that happening tonight on the enhanced ESPN app. And now Brendan Lewis back out there offensively, as he was looking downfield but was unable to connect.
And that time, our nice job in coverage of Jordan Young, who's their nickel. And I'll tell you, Memphis is having problems right now in the passing game. Some of it has been because of good coverage on deep balls like that, but we've also seen Brendan Lewis miss on a few throws. And so the windows are not going to be very big against this Arkansas defense. And when those opportunities present themselves, I think Brendan Lewis has got to be able to hit these throws to allow them balance.
So the strike to Thompson off the mark. And now they'll keep it on the ground with gwes-eas, and welcome back. gwes-eas came out of camp as the #1 running back, was injured week 1, practiced a little more this week and getting his groove back here.
Well, you're seeing the effect Brendan Lewis has as a running quarterback, just completely freezing the defensive end, Charlie Collins. He's not even worried about gwes-eas with the ball, and it's the running back that runs right by his face. So as an athletic dual threat quarterback, Brendan Lewis, he impacts the running game even when he's not carrying the football.
21-yard run by Greg gwes-eas. Flags come in.
Little flinch, I think, on the right side of Memphis's O-line.
Offense, number 70, 5-yard penalty, first down.
We get the change of field positions here as special teams played a really big role, and then Memphis had a punt away, but then the turnover solves that problem instantly.
I mean, you just want to pay off what your defense is doing. I think if you're Ryan Silverfield, right, you don't get the onside kick, you force a 3 and out, all of a sudden give it back to Arkansas in midfield, then you get the pick. Now for Memphis's offense, you've got to be able to drive this football.
1st and 15 after the penalty. They go with the short in-cutting route to Thompson as he's met just short of midfield.
That's complete to Thompson. Second and 10. 570.
Second and 10 for Lewis. And he's able to connect and get the first time with Brady Cluse, who had a spectacular touchdown catch, a one-hander in the back of the end zone that made SportsCenter top 10.
Fantastic job by Travis Burke right here. He's going to chip off, and he's going to pick up the blitz coming off the edge. He's working a double team originally, but he keeps his eyes downfield, and he sees Jordan Young coming off the edge. Really nice job in blitz pickup there, giving Lewis a chance to throw it.
That goes for 20 yards, and now Lewis able to utilize his legs and take advantage of a block on the outside for another first down as he makes his way down to the 15-yard line, tackled by Larry Wolf.
Well, another good job this time by Memphis's O-line picking up a stunt. Quincy Rhodes is going to be twisting inside here, and it's the center and guard that are able to see that. This is not the biggest offensive line in the country, Joe, but they do play very well together. This coaching staff, their O-line coach Jeff Myers, assistant O-line coach David Deal, they do a really nice job working with Memphis up front.
Dave Deal, one of your old teammates with the Giants. Boterford, he is met right at the line of scrimmage. That was Xavier Sori.
Yeah, Dave Deal's a former teammate of mine, 2-time Super Bowl champion with the New York Giants. And I'll tell you, Memphis is lucky to have him. He is a technician. He's a grinder, tremendous work ethic. And it just pays off with a lot of these young offensive linemen, a lot of new faces up front as well, trying to learn a new scheme. But this coaching staff as a whole, really impressed with what they've been able to do, because they're going up in this game, Joe, against a much bigger, more physical D-line in Arkansas.
Second and 9. Lewis going to throw it away.
Smart though, right? We just saw in the last drive, Taylor Green taking a chance he shouldn't have, cost his offense with the interception. There you're seeing just the intelligence that time and the poise of a six-year senior. Nothing's open. You're in the red zone. You can't take a sack. You're not going to force it into coverage, turn it over, throw it away, and live to play another down.
There's a 3rd down and 9 for Memphis. Third and 9 as it's inside the 5 to Kluse. And it'll be 1st and goal, Tigers.
Really good job by Kluse that time on the spot route, just finding the soft spot in zone coverage. There's a big hole, and as soon as he felt it, he was able to just sit down and wrap himself in that area, and right on time. The ball comes out from Lewis, right at the sticks. New 1st down.
Another long drive for Memphis, but can they cash with 7 instead of 3? gwes-eas, he was wrapped up in the backfield and then dragged the defender forward towards the line of scrimmage. That with Phillip Lee again.
I think somebody outside for Memphis is going to have to win. Arkansas right now is in press man coverage down tight here, and they're going to have a lot of big bodies crowding the line of scrimmage. Big mass substitution for Memphis now coming on the field, but you kind of feel like someone on the perimeter at receiver or tight end is going to have to win one-on-one versus tight coverage, and you're going to need an accurate throw from Lewis.
See, they bring in Anderson and Adcock into the backfield. Pezant is the featured back here as he shifts just to the right. And he will take the carry, and it is a stone wall of defenders. Even the safety Larry Worth getting involved.
Well, it's Ian Jaffarard who makes the play, and he's 6'5", 390 pounds.
I'm sorry?
He is 390 pounds and does not cooperate with your run game attack. And that time he completely engulfed the center. There was absolutely nowhere to run. 3rd down now. The big fella gets a breather. He gets to come off. But I just think for Memphis down tight like this, it's tough sledding if you're trying to run it between the tackles.
His shoulder pads look like a gym class penny. 3rd and goal. Final half minute of this 1st quarter. Lewis on 3rd and goal. Trying to find anything and looking to get there himself and breaks on through. Touchdown, Tigers. Xavier Sorey tried to come up and contain him, but Brendan Lewis with the rushing touchdown.
I'll tell you, Brendan Lewis, he's not the most sudden runner, but he is a very strong runner. And when he gets outside, it's him one-on-one with Xavier Sorey. Sorey doesn't wrap. He just tries to hit him with the shoulder pad, and Brendan Lewis is showing you he is a very tough runner, a very strong runner, a guy that's 6'3", 210 pounds, an outstanding decision with nobody open to tuck it and run.
Spetagats the extra point, and another long drive managed by Brendan Lewis. And on 3rd and goal, he takes care of it himself. And Memphis with a 10-7 lead over Arkansas.
Well, we've seen the good and bad from Taylor Green in this one early. This is just the 3rd play of the game. 2 posts on the outside, clear out for Rohan Jones at fullback. Coverage bust by Memphis. This ends up being an easy touchdown pass for Taylor Green. And not just like that, they're up on the board. On the last drive, though, good coverage by Memphis. A poor decision this time by Taylor Green, trying to fit it into Omega Blake. A great pick by Jaden Dennis. And so if you're Taylor Green now, you just got to settle back in. Try to get this offense back in its rhythm.
Rodney Hill on the return for the Hogs. Let's go to the studio, check in with Kevin. What's up, Kev?
Tess, good afternoon. Early trouble again for Clemson at home here, Boog. Syracuse's Steve Angeli to Justice Ross Simmons.
Anytime the corner's back is turned, throw it high, let your receiver go get it. 7-0 Cubes.
Orange up 10-0, but here comes Cade Klubnik, and one in trouble, just throw it up, Brian Wesco Jr.
One-on-one, you got to give your receivers an opportunity to make a play. Cade Klubnik does that.
Third straight week, Wesco has a touchdown catch, 10-7 right now, the Cuse on ESPN. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much. So that's the situation with Clemson taking on Syracuse. As Arkansas's offense back out there, Braylon Russell on the pitch. And nobody is even close to Braylon Russell as he goes untouched until Kamari Wilson is able to find him.
Good for Arkansas first down.
As you see the final seconds of this first quarter counting down. And the upset-seeking Tigers with Brendan Lewis's touchdown run up 10-7. The American Conference on ABC is presented by Starbucks. It returns after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Welcome back to Memphis. We're on the sidelines with Sam Pittman. Coach, Memphis was able to capitalize on that interception. How would you assess your all start here today?
Well, I mean, obviously we started fast offensively, and then we haven't done so well the last two through a pick. We'll get better there. I'm not worried about that. We got to contain the quarterback. You know, he's getting run. This last one here, we had a guy outside. He didn't stay outside. He ran around us and scored. Quarterback runs are my most concerning thing defensively, and getting off the field on third down. Not doing a good job of getting off the field, and the third downs have been long too. So got to do a better job there.
Thank you.
Katie, meanwhile, here's Coach's running game with Braylon Russell, and a penalty flag is down.
I think Drew Watts lined up in the neutral zone.
Defense number 7, 5-yard penalty.
By the way, Jesse, the 23-yard run by Russell that we saw just before we went to break.
Yeah.
Prior to that, Arkansas had 2 yards rushing.
Really? Well, it's important then in this game. Obviously, they are able to establish that balance, and they want to be able to take advantage of a bigger offensive line and bigger, more physical running backs. But, Joe, it's hot here in Memphis. It's like 90 degrees, and their defense has already been on the field a long time. I think it's kind of important Arkansas is able to stay on the field a little bit here.
There's Green on 1st and 5 as he connects with C.J. Brown, and he gets inside the 40.
A really nice job by C.J. Brown working his way into the second window that time in zone coverage, and nice composure by Taylon Green, too, just holding the football, trusting that C.J. was going to be able to kind of work over the middle of the ball, giving him an opportunity to make that catch and move the sticks.
Play action, Green. Time to wind up. Oh, right in the hands of Blake, but he couldn't hold on through the process.
Oh, that is a phenomenal play that time by Jeremiah Jordan from Memphis. That looked to me, Joe, like that was going to be a touchdown. I mean, Taylon Green dropped this in the bucket, but watch the hands here by Jordan, swatting it away with the left. That was an outstanding defensive play. You cannot throw it any better than that. Man, Memphis's defense, they've come up with some big ones here early in this game, Joe. The secondary playing at a very high level.
Great pass defended by Jordan. And now it's a 2nd and 10. Green's going to run it himself, and with those long strides, it doesn't take much, and all of a sudden he has 11 yards.
No, we were asking the coaching staff, who's your fastest player on offense? Is it Taylon Green? They said in a 40-yard dash, maybe not. In a 50-yard dash, yes, he is, and it's because those long strides. When he gets moving, he's running over 20 miles an hour. It's absolutely incredible. This guy's averaging 10 yards, almost 10 yards every time he carries the football.
And now he gets to the outside. And with that, it's another first down for Arkansas as Platt and Posca, the 2 tight ends, were paving the way.
Yeah, it's such an advantage when you have someone as athletic as Taylon Green. You see what he's been able to do. Mike Washington, the transfer, comes over from New Mexico State, and they've just been ripping off long runs. And we talked in the open about how explosive they are. It's not just throwing it, but they're hitting home runs on the ground, and they've got multiple guys that can do it, which makes it so difficult as a defense then, because who are you taking away? What are you trying to stop? There's not just one person you can key on.
Coach Pittman looks on. They go to the big 240-pounder, Braylon Russell, getting right into the end zone.
Well, it was an outstanding job by Caden Kittler at center, climbing into the second level, and the 240-pound Braylon Russell, he's able to just get small in behind it, and it's amazing. He's 240, Joe. He actually lost 15 pounds. Runs low to the ground, an absolute battering ram. We talked about the home run ability of Mike Washington, but the thunder is Braylon Russell. It's a 1-2 punch. You've seen that belt somewhere before, Jim.
Yeah, I'm going to see a lot of it tonight. I'm going to get myself to Indy. I'm sure the whole world's going to be watching, looking for that thing. As Starzyk puts the extra point through, and that's a really nice response drive by Arkansas. 6 plays capped by the touchdown run by Big Braylon.
Every day a day to train for it. We on a whole nother level. Bigger than
Braylon Russell, 240 pounds, going downhill for a 16-yard touchdown, and that's Arkansas up 14-10 because of it. Great college football Saturday that starts right here with the American Conference against the SEC. Two teams that, listen, only separated by about 250 miles, but haven't played since '98. And guess who's watching? The champ, Cody Rhodes.
Joe Tess, Jesse is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, WWE's undisputed champion. I'm at WrestlePalooza, our debut show on ESPN, by the way. Obviously, I'm out here midday watching the games. I'm an SEC guy myself. My dog's 3-0. Got a bye. Alabama coming to them between the hedges next week. Hoo-hoo! But, Jesse, question for you, you being the expert. Have you ever seen a team like Arkansas has? Have you ever seen a line so big, so physically imposing as these Razorbacks?
Well, Cody, it's a great question. They're big, and it's hard to stop momentum. You know that, having beaten John Cena at SummerSlam. You're riding some of that yourself right now, my friend. But, yes, Arkansas's D-line, they are big. They average 316 pounds, Joe. We were talking about that a little bit earlier. And they're not just big, but they're athletic. They can stay in their gaps. They can rush the passer, and they're deep. They reload and bring in fresh bodies. That's a big reason why I think Memphis' own line. They got their hands full today.
Yeah, they got some massive size there. I think some guys, if the football career doesn't work out, Cody, you better be careful. They may be your future opponents down the road. That's of course, right. We will see the champ tonight. He's taking on Drew McIntyre.
I'm excited for you to be there tonight, Joe.
We're going to get up there.
We'll WrestlePalooza.
We're going to make it in time for the pregame show, and then the broadcast at 7, and then the post show should be absolutely wild tonight. Here's Brendan Lewis as he's able to carry it. And that is coming your way tonight. Remember, it's the new ESPN Enhanced app. It's the first WWE Premium Live event, WrestlePalooza, and you got legends going at it. John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. Aside from Cody Rhodes, you got Cena versus Lesnar.
I heard that's the opening match.
Yes, that is
John
correct.
Cena and the retirement tour. It's been a little over 2 years since we've seen Brock Lesnar back in there. I cannot wait. What a way to kick this thing off.
Should be fun coming your way on the enhanced ESPN app tonight. Pre-show at 5 p.m., main show at 7. Brandon Lewis with pressure as he tried to get it off on 3rd and 1.
Well, nobody that time blocked Quincy Rhodes coming off the edge. Everything was going to the left side for Memphis' offense, and Brendan Lewis had to do everything he could just to get rid of it. The question is this going to be intentional grounding? Because I think he was inside the pocket.
Intentional grounding. Offense number 2. To loss it down at the spot of the foul. It's now 4th down.
Well, the pocket is defined as 5 yards to the left or right of the center, going all the way back to your goal line. He didn't quite break that or get outside, so big penalty now sets Ryan Silverfield and Memphis' offense way back. And so on these critical 3rd downs now, coming up for Arkansas defensively, you got to find a way to get off the field. They do right there. Now going to get an opportunity to get this football back around midfield.
Remember, Cam Shanks is the return man for Arkansas. He was an All-American punt returner at UAB, had 2 touchdowns that he took back on punts. He is one of those no-fear kind of return men. So we'll see if he gets a chance from Kerrigan, the lefty punter who sends backward rotation, and here is Shanks. And Shanks can't find much. Good pursuit again.
Well, Joe, I think
Memphis.
Taylon Green's the best athlete on the field, and I think what makes him special is when plays break down, he can make the big play happen. Free rusher, his hot route is a drag, but the defense here has a coverage bust, so he's double covered. Green actually has to run backwards. Look at this throw and how accurate it is on the run, cleaning it all up. 3rd and long, free rusher coming off the edge. We talked about the long strides. You think you have them, and then you don't. He starts pulling away from people. It's incredible. You know, you're lucky to have a quarterback that can take a negative play and just avoid the sack. 5 guys here have a shot at him, but he turns bad plays into really good plays.
He's one of only 9 players to lead his team in passing and rushing on the season. This is Russell out of the backfield. Remember, he had the touchdown moments ago. Katie.
You know, Jess, Taylon Green says when he relies on his instincts, good things usually happen. But he says offensive coordinator Bobby Petrino is often the one to say, hey, go use your legs. You don't have to stay in the pocket. He said he has a much better understanding of when to put the Superman cape on and when not to. But sometimes he just needs that little nudge, that little reminder from Petrino.
Katie, I think you framed that well, that conversation of the Superman cape as he goes ahead for the first down. Listen, when you have the Superman kind of skills, you still have to be refined and manage things.
You do, but how nice is it, Katie and Joe, if you're Bobby Petrino, you don't have to have the perfect call played every time.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
He fixes problems.
Yeah, you don't. Your offensive line doesn't have to block it, correct? You see Bobby Petrino right there up in the box. When you know you've got a quarterback that can make it right, just because of his God-given athletic ability.
Here's Russell as he tries to spin free, and with that is able to gain extra yardage past midfield.
You're seeing how big Arkansas's running backs are. We've seen Russell now, especially on that touchdown run, 240 pounds. Mike Washington, 230 pounds. 2- and 3-yard gains in the first and second quarter. Generally, those become 7, 8, 9-yard gains in the fourth quarter. You're a boxing guy, Joe. You know this. Body blows.
Sure.
Early in a title fight, it wears opponents down.
You're depositing into the bank, and then you get the dividends and the payoff later. Here's 2nd and 4, and that is complete. And turning the corner is Omega Blake for a first down.
Really nice location of the throw here. If this ball is thrown inside, this thing's getting picked up by Jeremiah Jordan, but he throws it outside where only his guy, Omega Blake, can make the play. Really nice location on this throw. And if you're an NFL scout watching that play right there, that's an understanding, an intentional place to deliver the football by Taylon Green.
Green. And he gets it complete to Brown, and Brown is down near the 20-yard line.
Well, we've seen C.J. Brown already do some damage working over the middle of the field, and that time, nice job on an in-breaking cut. This is a group positionally, Joe, that lost their top 6 receivers from a year ago in terms of receiving yards. So they had to go to the portal and hit it hard, and they did real well. Omega Blake, C.J. Brown, Jalen Brown, all these guys, they've shown up early this season for Arkansas.
Mike Washington now. Good block out in front as Mike Washington is tripped up, but it's a 1st and goal Hogs.
Man, you can see the burst he has, and their left tackle, Corey Robinson, he's able to climb up into the 2nd level, and Washington already with 3 carries this year, 30 or more yards, 2nd in the country. You just miss 1 tackle, this dude gets into the 2nd level, and it's amazing. We talked about how good Memphis's offense was this year in the red zone. How about this? Every possession Arkansas has had in the red zone this year, they've scored a touchdown. They were 13 for 13 in this area of the field.
And give credit to Maddox Lassiter also with a kick-out block for that 16-yard run. And now getting right in is guess who? Parlez-vous, Rohan Jones.
Il a été perdu au milieu du défense. Incroyable, simplement super. And this time you see another wrinkle by Bobby Petrino. Lining him up over here, it's going to be the jet sweep. He scored on the 3rd play of the game at fullback. Now another wrinkle that they have not yet shown on film has Memphis's defense on their heels. Fantastic job by Bobby Petrino.
See, Cody Rhodes was just talking about how well they blocked the big guys, and now they got the belt back in hand as Rohan Jones, his second touchdown of the afternoon, this time the 5-yard run. A 7-play drive for 66 yards, Jesse.
It's impressive. It does not take long running or throwing. Arkansas right now, everything going their way here in Memphis.
ABC College Football, presented by Starbucks, is brought to you by Allstate and the Allstate AFCA Good Works team, recognizing the athletes for their good work off the field. Visit ESPN.com/Allstate to learn more.
The path less traveled from Quebec to the SEC. Rohan Jones with 2 touchdowns
today. Played at Collège André Grasset. There's a reason we're all speaking French up here. He played in the CJEP League back in Montreal, which is actually really good high school football. A lot of kids coming out of that region in Quebec end up getting scholarships to play in the South. He wasn't just catching passes, though, Joe. He was a really good kick returner. Led his school to the provincial championship, not the state title, the provincial Quebec championship.
21-10 as Jones has the long touchdown catch and the 5-year touchdown run. College football rankings are brought to you by Goodyear.
Yeah, and a lot of eyes obviously tonight down in Miami taking on in-state rival Florida. How good is Carson Beck this year? I mean, he's completing like 80% of his throws. Ball's barely touching the ground, and he's avoiding the turnovers, which to me has been real impressive. But he's going up against the Gator defense, Joe, that's allowed 20 or less in each of their last 7 games going back to last year.
gwes, he's able to escape the first would-be tackler before surging ahead to the 29.
Well, and he was able to fight through a tackle by Xavier Sorry that time. Not easy to do. gwes-eas got a lot of talent. He only carried the ball 4 times in their first game against Alabama State before left with an injury. So getting him back and his power running, you're starting to see it. And Sorry, he's missed a few tackles here early in this one. They're going to watch the film, and he's going to have to get back to fundamentals because he's had an opportunity to make more plays that he's missing.
Here's Lewis against a 4-man rush. He's been doing damage with his legs, and he continues to, as that's a Memphis first down, as he's finally brought down by Sorry and Shaw.
Yeah, Sam Pittman was telling Katie earlier he's worried about the quarterback runs, and before that one he was averaging 10 yards a carry, and it's not all designed. It's also been when things are breaking down. So we've talked time and time again just about how calm he is, how poised he is, and that's a big deal here, taking over on a new team. In games like this, against a defense as big as Arkansas, when the pocket is going to break down, you got to have your wits about you. He's been really good here in this first half.
Lewis averaging 6 yards a rush. Started his career at Colorado as a starting quarterback there. Went to Nevada, had great experience as a starter there. Now his first year here at Memphis. And on the ground, and it's another great-looking run by Sutton Smith.
We talked about how this O-line can run the zone scheme in their sleep. I want you to watch Chris Adams. He's only a 277-pound left tackle. Watch him get a block here and then climb to the second level and get another back. This is picture perfect. You help post up with the right guard, you climb, you get a piece of Bradley Shaw, and that opens up a lane for Sutton Smith. Undersized doesn't necessarily mean you can't be effective.
33-yard run by Sutton Smith. Great work by Chris Adams at left tackle there. He was at Old Dominion, grew up in Maryland, and transferred here to Memphis. Smith again, and this time not as much as Sorry was waiting on him.
We go back talking about Brendan Lewis, and you're impressed too because you're taking over for Seth Hennigan, who was a 4-year starter here at Memphis, threw for 14,266 yards. That's 13th all-time in NCAA history. And so, yes, you're getting the leadership, and you're getting a guy who's poised, but you're also getting playmaking ability as well, and you've seen that through the first 3 games. He wasn't the splashiest portal addition at quarterback in the country, but Brendan Lewis, he's leaving his mark here at Memphis early.
Play clock counting down. 2nd and 7 for Lewis. And that was incomplete, a little bit behind gwes-eas.
Yeah, and that's a bad throw again by Brendan Lewis. You saw them motioning the running back and forth. It was to gwes-eas, and they were waiting to see what Xavier Story and Stephen Dix were going to do at linebacker. When he comes out, he expands, and now you can cut across his face on the angle route. That might score. If he catches it and he makes Larry Worth miss, that's a touchdown. But we've seen a few guys running open for Memphis early in this game, and Brendan Lewis has not been able to get them accurate balls.
They're down 7. Arkansas showing pressure, and they do come with it. And Lewis on 3rd and 7. Ball's in the air, and it falls incomplete. He was trying to connect with the tight end, Christian Ross.
Yeah, very lucky here. Tips lead to picks. That time, Arkansas came with the Mike Will cross dog, and gwes-eas did a good job picking it up. So decision time if you're Ryan Silverfield, but I like the decision not to chase points too early. Take the field goal, make this a one-possession game.
So Spedick heads out there. Made from 38 earlier. Told you he hit from 55 earlier this year against Georgia State. This is a 46-yard attempt for Gianni Spedick. And it just leaked off to the left. So it remains an 11-point margin in favor of Arkansas here on a beautiful day in Memphis, Tennessee. Don't go anywhere. Straight back to action when we return. The Taco Bell Live Más student section. Only one student section can claim the title of Live Más student section of the year. Who will take home the trophy this year, as we are here in Memphis, Tennessee, and these students are watching their team try to give a fight to a really talented SEC offense, trailing 21-10 right now. Green back to pass. Pressure off the edge. As he is forced to throw it away.
Well, that's a nice disguise and pressure by Memphis. And they're running a 3-3-5 personnel defensively by D coordinator Jordan Hankins. And it was made popular in the Big 12 trying to combat air raid passing offenses. Essentially, you've got only 3 D linemen. The rest are DBs and linebackers. So smaller, faster guys. And you can disguise coverages, disguise blitzes like you've seen right there. And up to this point, though, they've also proven it can still be effective stopping the run. Like you see right there.
Against Mike Washington, who couldn't find anything.
It's just mass chaos and confusion. And D linemen are slanting and stunting, and linebackers and safeties are blitzing, and DBs are rocking and rolling in the back end. And the picture changes from this pre-snap to the post-snap almost every single time. And it's such a headache as a quarterback and an offensive line to try and decipher just all the noise and all the action you're seeing in front of you.
Last week, this Memphis defense forced 6 3-and-outs, but that was against Troy. This is Talon Green and the Hogs. Oh, good stick on Raylan Sharp as Kamari Wilson comes up to make the play.
Man, I am impressed with how well they've played on the back end. I know they've given up some big plays in this game so far, but the Arizona State transfer, Kamari Wilson, talk about tackling the catch. He gets in there quickly. He gets the ball to the ground, now getting a chance to give it back to their offense as this first half winds down, and a big opportunity for them, Joe. Obviously down 11 points right now, but Memphis is going to get the ball back first in the second half, so a golden opportunity there for them.
Flag comes down.
False start, offense. Not all 11 players were set. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
That's just the second 3-and-out moments ago, by the way, for Arkansas today. They had only 3 in total for their first 3 games.
Yeah, they need to do a better job, and they need to be able to run the ball and get positive yards on 1st and 2nd down to keep those 3rd downs manageable. We talked about how big they are up front, how big the running backs are. Talon Green, an outstanding runner in his own right, but it's a part of their offense that has to pick up.
Devin Bale punting away. Sutton Smith driven way back, and then all of a sudden it takes a Memphis bounce. I mean, a massive Memphis bounce here at home at the Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, not far away from where we're staying at the famed Peabody Hotel, known of course for the Ducks that will make their way into the elevator and then they make their way out of the elevator, and that gives us a chance for the Peabody Hotel Ducks to explain the group of 5 situation, because we have told you that the playoff chances right now, when you go through all these good teams in the group of 5, it lands on Memphis when you consider their record, their schedule, who they play at home this year. Memphis leads the way with a 28% chance of being in the college football playoff. Could be a double pass. C.J. Smith's going to wind it up, and that ball is intercepted. Miguel Mitchell was just waiting on it, so the trick play goes south.
Just not a good throw. There was a defender that got in his face, and I wonder if he was able to just tip it at the very last second. I think it was Julian Neal, but they had Sutton Smith wide open, running down the boundary. If this throw could have been a lot more accurate. Just a little bit of pressure in his face. I think the defender got a piece of it, which is why it fluttered. You've seen Ryan Silverfield. He's taken some chances with onside kicks in this game. Now the double pass. That could have been a massive explosive play gone awry, and Arkansas right back in business here after the pick by the Florida transfer Mitchell.
Taylon Green, as he was met and taken down near the 45-yard line by DeMarco Ward.
And you got to do more of it. I like it. One of the things that Green is really good at is he rides the running back at the mesh very long in these zone reads. He has those long arms. He keeps the football in there. So a lot of defenders think it's going to the running back. He pulls it out at the last second and takes off.
2nd and 3. Green will connect and get it complete to Jaden Platt, who's an outstanding looking tight end. And that brings us to the 2-minute timeout. So Memphis went with the trick play. The interception happened, and now Arkansas is right back in position to score when we return before halftime here. Great day of college football, and then tomorrow it's Sunday NFL Countdown as Randy Moss reunites Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson for a combo. And all access with Jared Verse, that's at 10 a.m. Eastern. Then Monday Night Football, Baltimore against the Lions, that's 8 p.m. It's on ABC, ESPN, and the new enhanced ESPN app. Of course, Peyton and Eli on ESPN2 for that. Back to business is Taylon Green. Shallow cross, gets it complete again to Platt. Platt, a stiff arm, and diving for the pylon. Touchdown, Hogs. Jaden Platt just tossed that defender.
Well, Jaden Platt was working on a drag route and looked like DeMarco Ward at safety actually clipped the referee as he was trying to get across to make a tackle. Got there too late. Let's just see if this is in the end zone. He jumps. Hand goes down inside and out of bounds right there. The question is, where was the football in relationship to the goal line once that right hand went out?
The touchdown is under further review.
Out. Yep.
You need to look at that closer
the
down
effort,
the line.
The effort's amazing, but let's bring in Matt Austin, our rules expert. Matty?
Yeah, Joe, Jesse nailed it. His hand definitely hit out of bounds at the 1-yard line. Looked to me like the ball was about at the half-yard line. I think replay is going to bring this back to the half-yard line where it'll be 1st and goal.
Well, one thing about this Arkansas offense is in the passing game, they love drag routes and crossing routes, and they're trying to cause confusion over the middle of the field defensively. And DeMarco Ward, you'll see him when he comes down on this play, he's trying to get to him right there, and he just clips the referee on his way in. Still gets there, and the stiff arm by Jaden Platt. It was interesting. We were talking to Bobby Petrino coming into this one. He said, you know, one thing I want to do in my offense is I want to try and find more ways to get the tight ends involved. We've got guys like Platt and Rohan Jones, who's already scored twice today. Even though we're loaded at receiver and we've got really good backs, I think there's some other weapons that I can do a better job of using. And you're seeing the tight ends having a big impact here early, too.
Jaden Platt, who started his career at Texas A&M. Remember, Petrino was on that staff a few years ago.
After reviewing the play, the ball carrier's right hand was down out of bounds with the ball just inside the 1 yard line. It will be 1st and goal.
But he's got that big frame. We were talking to Petrino the other day. He said because of his frame and his athleticism, there's even more weight to add, believe it or not, and he still keeps the speed. He thinks he could be a very high NFL draft pick eventually.
Yeah, it just goes to show you again why this offense is so explosive. Well, it's not just Talon Green. It's not just the running backs. It's not just the receivers. They've got guys that are going to play on Sunday at the tight end spot as well.
So they do mark it down at the 1 yard line. Washington trying to fight for it. And they're running in to mark it.
I'm impressed. Jalen Bell, number 93 from Memphis, really blew that up. They're trying to go to the left side.
Touchdown!
Oh, wow.
They cleared the pile and said that Mike Washington did indeed cross the goal line for a touchdown.
They were pulling Fernando Carmona at left guard. You see 55 there. He gets a kick out. But Jalen Bell at 5'11", 280, he was trying to create a pile. That's easily in.
And Maddox Lassiter playing fullback there. You see 47 getting up. And a nice job by Mike Washington, belt in hand, and this offense continues to roll.
Joe, they're now 16 for 16 in the red zone, scoring touchdowns.
You're going to win a lot of football.
No kidding.
If you do that. If you can cash in a lot that way, you're going to win a lot of football. And we talked about this Arkansas offense and what they deliver. And Jesse, you make a good point of it's not just Talon Green. It's every aspect of this offense. We saw the tight end in play there. We saw the running game. And, of course, with Carmona playing guard, they are very, very capable in short yardage. Talon Green is getting a lot of attention now. That wasn't necessarily the case when we were sizing up SEC quarterbacks most of the summer, whether it was media days or the cover of preseason publications.
It's interesting. There were a lot of names we talked about at quarterback in this conference, guys like Arch Manning, Lenora Sellers of South Carolina, DJ Lagway at Florida, that everyone was talking about, but it's been some unheralded guys. Talon Green having a remarkable year. We've documented that throughout this game. Bo Pribula, the transfer from Penn State, he's been lighting it up at Missouri early. We saw Ty Simpson twice already, Joe. Ball hasn't been hitting the ground for them in the last 2 games. He's yet to throw an interception, and some unfamiliar faces playing really well in this conference at the QB spot.
Let's go to Kevin in the studio.
Test State Farm halftime report minutes away. Booger McFarland, Kevin Nagandi with you right now. Clemson is down 24-7. Highlights coming your way, as well as Utah hosting Texas Tech. Remember Tennessee coming off that tough overtime loss to Georgia, trying to get back at it here. Boog, take it on UAB and it's Joey Aguilar.
No doubt. I love how he gives his receiver an opportunity to make a play. Throw it up. Almost Willie Mays style, over the shoulder, Kev.
Mike Matthews, his name, making the grab. 21-0 Tennessee SEC Network. Back to you, Tess. With the tie, we like it's back.
Oh, thank you so much, Kev. Kevin Booger coming up at halftime. Boy, this Clemson score, I'm sure going to be a lot of people talking about it as Brendan Lewis back to pass, being pressured, looking at check down. He does so to Dewasier. Jesse, I want to ask you this about Dabo Swinney this week, the press conference, when he said, if Clemson's tired of winning, they can send me on my way. I'll go somewhere else and coach. That came out of his mouth this week.
Yeah,
reaction.
So a lot of people were saying that was sort of a crash out press conference, which I didn't think it was. Mike Gundy, I'm a man, I'm 40. That was a crash out. I think Dabo Swinney has enough credit in the bank to make those statements, honestly.
Here's Lewis on 2nd and 13, the overthrow. And the flag comes down. 3 flags come down past midfield. He was looking for Brand.
Yeah, it was a little tug on the jersey that time by Julian Neal. That's going to be a penalty on Arkansas's defense and breathe some new life into Memphis. But
pass interference, defense number 23, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
But I mean, Dabo's won what, 9 ACC championships, 7 playoff appearances, 2 national championships. I mean, you and I remember where the Clemson program was before Dabo took over as head coach. And I think every once in a while it's okay for him to remind people of that when it starts getting loud there in Clemson.
Empty look here with under a minute to play in this first half. Lewis tried to go to the outside to Braham.
Yeah, he's just missing high a lot on these throws. And I like the idea of Ryan Silverfield staying aggressive here. And he should, right? I mean, you've already tried an onside kick. You tried a double pass. You're not just going to run the ball and take it in at halftime, knowing you get the ball back first here in the second half. Let your quarterback deal. But Lewis has to make those throws. We talked about the windows were not going to be big. And he's got to just take a deep breath here at halftime and come out being way more accurate in the second half.
2nd and 10. Lewis able to spin free and then connect to Cortez Braham. They played together at Nevada. They're playing together here at Memphis.
Well, you're trying to score points here, obviously. You want the touchdown, you'll take the field goal. And Gianni Spedic, you mentioned it earlier, Joe, hit a 55-yarder against Georgia State. So I think you're thinking about getting to around the 38-yard line of Arkansas. If you can get to that area of the field, you're going to give yourself an opportunity to take some points.
There is Gianni, 3rd longest field goal in Memphis history he hit earlier this month. Can they put him in position? 3rd and 2. Sutton Smith breaks free. And a good run by Smith. And now they can manage things perhaps differently. 3 timeouts in the bag.
Absolutely. 3 timeouts now. And you're asking yourself here, are you going to use that? If you're Ryan Silverfield, he decides to do it. It's a good decision. You crease them in the run game. Now you're in field goal range for Spedic. Now you've gotten there. Question is, can you score a touchdown? Do you have the playmakers on the perimeter to win a one-on-one ball deep down the field? They've tried 3 deep shots thrown by Lewis, and they haven't been able to come up with one quite yet.
And remember, they've also gone into the well to try to get some risk reward too. They tried to sneak an onside kick that Arkansas recovered. And then just moments ago, they went with the double pass that was intercepted, Jesse.
Yeah, C.J. Smith comes in and the ball kind of flutters. And so I like it. I mean, listen, if you're going to win a game like this, you're going to have to pick your spots to take those chances. And those are the decisions that Ryan Silverfield is making so far in this game. But I think at this area now, they're seeing a lot of man coverage in the back end by Arkansas. And so the question is, outside, who are the guys you trust? Cortez Braham, number 4, who they try to go route to earlier in this drive, a guy that Brandon Lewis played with at Nevada, who he trusts inherently. Jamari Hawkins in the slot with a lot of speed. Which of these guys can make a play?
Number 2 timeouts remain for Lewis, as he is backed up and tried to get it off before he went down to the ground, as Cam Ball, all 323 pounds of him, was just crashing down.
And he's really the bell cow of what they do on defense. He's just going to split a double team here. 325 pounds. He can give you the pass rush like that. He's good against the run. But for 325, Joe, he's got really good conditioning. And it's a D-line that likes to substitute and bring fresh bodies on. More often than not, you see big number 5, Cameron Ball, staying on the field. He can be an every down guy.
You see Chris Adams, the left tackle, is down at the end of that play. Cam Ball making his impact felt against that offensive line.
Not obviously a big injury here for Memphis at this juncture of the game when you have to throw the football. And your starting left tackle now hobbling off. It's already been rough sledding at times for Brendan Lewis back there in the pocket. I think Arkansas has done a good job moving him off his mark. They haven't been able to get him on the ground, but that is concerning, I think, if you're Memphis offensively.
especially against some of the talent that we've been discussing. Cam Ball, by the way, you know, one of those rare players who's been at the same school for 5 years and lost his dad earlier this year, and he has discussed with a lot of the local media the impact that's had on him. But he's got huge personality. Everybody around the team will tell you, hey, he's the cook on the team. He loves to cook, and he loves to get after that quarterback from the inside as well, making an impact here.
They moved Travis Burke from right tackle over to left tackle now to Hander Philip Lee.
37 seconds remaining in this first half. Lewis going to take a shot downfield. Oh, and right into the hands of Cortez Graham. A flag is down as Graham has the touchdown reception.
Joe, I think this is going to be offensive pass interference on Cortez Graham. It looked like there was a little bit of a push-off on Julian Neal down there in the end zone. We'll see what the call is. This might be coming back.
Interference, defense number 23.
Wow.
Decline. The result of the play is a touchdown.
We got to watch this again in replay, slow motion. You just saw it right there. It looked to me like Cortez Graham extended the arms and actually made the contact first with Julian Neal. I thought that was OPI.
Matt Austin, our rules expert, we do see the extended arms by the receiver, do we not?
Yes, we do, and I agree with Joe 100%. With Jesse 100%. The offense actually made contact before the defense ever got there by extending his arms. So I think they should have put this on the offense.
But instead, it is a much-needed big play by the Memphis Tigers. The long touchdown catch was secured by Graham.
Listen, the call is the call, and now you got to live with it. I love what Memphis did, moving their starting right tackle, Travis Burke, over to left tackle to deal with Arkansas's best pass rusher on that play. Sam Pittman wants OPI there, but over here, this was the big decision they made in the substitution after Chris Adams got hurt. Look how good of a job Travis Burke does locking out Arkansas's best pass rusher. Well, was there a penalty on the back end on Memphis? I thought there was, but a really nice substitution decision by Memphis's offense. And we talked about where would Brandon Lewis look to, right? His former teammate at Nevada, the guy he trusts the most, outside one-on-one. I think that's one in evaluation and review. They'll say probably should have gone the other way, but listen, it's all part of the game of football. It happened. You got to live with it. Memphis needed that touchdown bad.
Brandon Lewis delivering to Cortez Graham. Remind you that college football continues right here on ABC, and it is such a good one coming up as number 22 Auburn taking on number 10 Oklahoma. And then tonight it's Saturday Night Football presented by Capital One as Florida against this very impressive number 4 Miami team.
And this Auburn-Oklahoma game too, Joe. You know, we're talking a lot about Jackson Arnold in that game, but if you've watched John Mateer play at quarterback for Oklahoma, he's been unbelievable. I know it's very early this season. We've only seen 3 games, but you know, I was talking about it this week. If I had the number 1 overall pick in the NFL, I'd have my eyes on John Mateer at Oklahoma.
Transfer quarterback who is as good a dual threat as there is in the game. Here's another guy that is thought of that way. Taylon Green gets it complete to C.J. Brown.
Well, they're not just going to run the ball either and just take it in to halftime. They're going to try and stay aggressive themselves. They've got a pretty good kicker, too. Here's John Mateer. This is what we're talking about. And he's been in Ben Arbuckle's offense for 3 years now. They both came over from Washington State. He's playing so fast with so much confidence and conviction. And you're right, Joe. Ultimate DT. Can hurt you with his arm, throws it from all different arm slots, can take off running on you. Just remarkable.
2nd and 10 for Taylon Green and the Hogs. Going to twist, turn, and run to create an opportunity, and then just before the impact, he gets it away as Kamari Wilson was coming up from that defensive back position.
And that's a clean shot. I mean, he's got Taylon Green on the run. He's being pursued from William Whitlow. Look at this hit by the Arizona State transfer, Kamari Wilson.
So you want to play big-time football, do you? You tend to feel it the next day, don't you? Final 15 seconds of this first half. It's incomplete on third down. Closest receiver is Jalen Brown.
Well, this is going to be a big key, I think, if we spin this thing forward. For Memphis to come back in the game defensively, they got to keep doing this. They got to keep setting up third and long situations, and then they've got to be able to get off the field. They've stayed aggressive. They've tried to pressure Taylon Green when they've had the most success, like any defense has. A lot harder to move the sticks when it's third and long.
Third 3 and out for Arkansas today. We reminded you earlier this season, you didn't see that. They only had 3 3 and outs coming into this game in total. As Devin Bales punt will bring us to the last few seconds of this first half.
I think you got to feel pretty good if you're Ryan Silverfield here, considering that things definitely went up and down a little bit in this first half, but the ability to score a touchdown on that last possession, you're getting the ball back first here in the second half. So a lot of momentum, I think, on the side of Memphis to make this thing real interesting real early in the second half of play.
Now, Arkansas won the coin toss prior to our opening kickoff. They elected to receive, so Memphis receives the second half kickoff. So a real opportunity for Brendan Lewis and the Tigers to get right back into this. We're glad to have gwes-eas back. He's starting running back coming out of fall camp, got injured and returns today. So Arkansas had that run of 21 unanswered points, and then the big play came with Lewis DeBraham for the 38-yard touchdown, and thus the 28-7 score we have. Katie's with Coach.
Thanks, Tess. Coach, that was great execution on that final drive. How would you assess Brendan Lewis and the offense's play so far?
Just average. I mean, obviously, to me, self-inflicted wounds. There's some opportunities out there that we're missing. We've got to do a better job of attacking what they're giving us.
Your defense got a big hit on Taylon Green just now. How do you continue to slow them down on offense in the second half?
Yeah, that's got to be the key. Obviously, offensively and special teams-wise, we put them in some better field position than we should. We got to come out and tackle clean, and you can't give up the explosive.
Thank you.
Thank you.
28-7, Arkansas on top, as we will get you to the State Farm halftime report with Kevin and Booger. Gentlemen, take it away.
Tess, thank you so much. State Farm halftime report.
Glad you're with us on this college football Saturday from here in Memphis. The American Conference on ESPN. ABC College Football is presented by Starbucks. Joe Tessitore, Jesse Palmer, Katie George with you here. Arkansas with a 28-17 lead over Memphis. Memphis came back right before the half and hit on a 38-yard touchdown. Lewis DeBraham to cut into this lead. Remember, Memphis gets the ball to start this second half. So can they keep momentum? But the explosive plays for Arkansas have been significant. Jesse, unstoppable performance presented by Ram Trucks.
Yeah, we talked about coming into this game being one of the most explosive offenses in the country. He took 3 plays. This is the 3rd play of the game. Rohan Jones out at tight end gets snuck out at the fullback spot. Nobody there in coverage. 62-yard TD. Jaden Platt, the other tight end, doing good work here on a drag route, throwing a defender off of him for a 29-yard gain. But they've got the balance because they're doing it in the run game as well. There's a 240-pound back. And Braylon Russell on the sweep. Then it's Braden Russell in between the tackles, running and throwing. A variety of guys getting it done on explosive plays.
Lewis to open up this second half as he goes underneath, but the receiver was met right away. That was Christian Ross. Jesse, let's get into the offensive line shuffles now of Memphis.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of movement now with Chris Adams at left tackle going down early. He's back in the game now. And so they had taken Travis Burke at right tackle, moved him back over. But great news from Memphis, Chris Adams back in the game.
See big number 61. And this is complete. And spinning for extra yardage is Cortez Braham.
Okay, they're down 11 points here in the second half. To make that up, I think Brendan Lewis has to just be able to make those throws. He's missed a couple times on curl routes, some underneath stuff that he should be able to make in his sleep. He has got to be way more accurate in the second half. Ryan Silverfield told Katie at the end of the half, we're not executing as well as we can in the passing game. We're giving some up. We need a better job at the quarterback position here, just making the throws you're supposed to make.
The GWES tracked down by Travis Williams' Arkansas defense, Katie. That was sorry.
Yeah, Sam Pittman told me coming out of the locker room that he was pretty upset with his defense for allowing Memphis to score just before half. He said his concern is with Memphis running the football. He said, I don't think Lewis is going to kill us in the pocket. He does have 2 completions here on this drive, but he said it's when he gets outside the pocket that he becomes a problem. He said we got to tackle better and contain him. He feels confident that his offense can score consistently here in the second half.
Katie, Lewis has 42 yards rushing, and of course that rushing touchdown earlier today. 2nd down and 3. GWES trying to get to the outside, and he is tripped up by Caleb Wooden. That flag is down at the 41-yard line.
Holding, offense number 9, 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Time it was Jamari Hawkins on the outside getting tangled up with an Arkansas defender. But I think going back to what Katie was talking about, you know, the pass rush for Arkansas's defense, that's a big question coming into this year, and it's something they struggled with a little bit last season, only getting 2 sacks a game. And they lost Landon Jackson, their best pass rusher, in the 3rd round of the Buffalo Bills. So bringing in guys like Phillip Lee and Justice Boons in the portal was supposed to help that, but that pass rush has to show up now in the second half for Arkansas.
2nd and 13. As they go with the in-cutting route to Hawkins.
And an accurate throw, just putting it right in the number, right on the number 9 of Hawkins. Brendan Lewis looks like he's a lot more settled in here. Now setting up this 3rd down. Really good pocket. He's able to go to his first read to get rid of it. And 3rd down has been a problem for Arkansas, not just in this game, but all season as well. They're giving up 45% conversions coming into this one, in part because they don't have that consistent pass rush. So here's an opportunity to get after Lewis.
3rd down and 7. Lewis being chased. Ball is out as the pocket collapsed. He fell back on it, but it was Bradley Shaw crashing down on Brendan Lewis.
Yeah, Brandon Shaw is a 3rd down specialist. Does a great job with his hands coming around the outside. He's going up against Travis Burke. Watch him chop his hands down right there. He's able to get in and around him and close in on the quarterback. There's the pass rush Arkansas needed so desperately. They dial up the pressure and they get off the field.
And now Lachlan Kerrigan, the lefty punter from Melbourne, Australia, on to kick away his 3rd punt of the game, as he takes a little time to let the coverage unit get downfield and forces the fair catch near the 12-yard line by Shanks. Always a good time here in Memphis. The Blues, the Ribs, BB King's Club down there on Beale Street. 28-17 Arkansas.
Welcome back to Memphis. Arkansas has had a lot of success on offense, big part because of their big left guard, Fernando Carmona, doing some good work here, and a touchdown run by Russell, getting good foot position in front of the nose guard, opening up a crease, also showing you his ability to pull and kick out defenders on a touchdown run here by Mike Washington. Where I think he's really special, though, is in pass pro. A little stunt and game action up front from Memphis. You pass off the tackle, and you lock out the defensive end. This is the best offensive lineman I've evaluated on film. He's playing well today.
Yeah, you didn't hesitate in saying that, as Green is tripped up immediately in the backfield that time. That was a heck of a play, and they needed that from Chris Bracey. It was very early. I mean, you started watching film right away, and you said,
yeah,
he's that guy.
Well, and we watched him last year, Joe. He was the starting left tackle for Arkansas, playing a little bit out of position, had some ups and downs. He's playing his natural spot now in at guard, and he's a nasty dude. He's a bully that wants to beat people up in a phone booth, and he's been doing it every single game early this year.
Yeah, that body type screams guard. Incomplete on 2nd 13. Katie.
Yeah, Jess, Carmona told me he enjoyed his time playing left tackle, but he was born to play guard. He said at tackle you have to play with finesse out in space, and now at guard you're just flanked by 2 guys. Everything happens so much faster in tight quarters. He said it's like you're fighting in a back alley brawl every single snap, and he said his position now fits his gritty, tough mentality. He says he loves moving inside.
When you can barely fit a credit card between the bottom of the helmet and the top of the shoulder pads, yes, you're a natural-born guard. 3rd and 13. Could be a big opportunity for the Memphis defense. Green pumps once, then goes downfield, and it's overthrown. He was looking for Omega Blake.
Yeah, that time Memphis dialed up some more pressure, linebacker level, and the coverage downfield forced Taylor Green to just have to hold on to it for a split second. Really nice job by Jaden Dennis at coverage. Remember, he had the interception earlier in the game. He's starting this one because Chauncey Logan is out with an injury. So again, we've seen multiple times different guys in the back end of Memphis's defense coming up with big plays.
4 3-and-outs against this tremendous Arkansas offense. Devin Bale now punting from his own end zone.
Man.
And look at this punt as he drives Sutton Smith all the way back, retreating to the 26-yard line, and then able to make up some ground on the return. But a great job by the Memphis defense. Remember, just before halftime, a moment where you said Brendan Lewis and this offense had to have something. This is what they came up with.
Yeah, they came up with a shot play right after their left tackle went down with an injury, and it's Cortez Bram outside one-on-one with Julian Neal. And I think to all of us up here in the booth, we thought this was OPI. This looked like a push-off right there, and ended up getting called defensive pass interference, and the touchdown stood. So Memphis was able to capture some momentum going into halftime, and here they are now, Joe. They're literally one score away from making this a one-possession game in a huge matchup that is going to impact their chances to reach the college football playoff.
And let it be known that our rules expert, Matt Austin, agreed, feeling that it should have been offensive pass interference. Look at Brendan Lewis. This is what he is capable of. One of the best running quarterbacks in the country.
Well, again, he's been hurting them with his legs, and it's affecting the defense. He's faking a handoff here this way, and Xavier Sorry's going to run with it, and that opens the crease for Brendan Lewis to take off. Really good with the mechanics, but again, his ability and his athleticism, even when he doesn't have the football, is affecting Arkansas on the next level.
18-yard run by Lewis. Now the quick game. The gwes-eas, the running back, getting into space, and he goes ahead for a first down.
I don't want to overstate this, too, if you're Memphis, right? We talk about non-Power 4 teams vying to get that college football playoff spot. Memphis's schedule sets up for them and Ryan Silverfield to be that team. Beating an SEC opponent like Arkansas here today would send a very clear message to the committee.
Listen, win your conference, have a nice signature win. Of course, they have, coming into today, according to the playoff predictor, the best chance of the group of 5 to make the college football playoff, just by the way the schedule sets up. The gwes-eas, he is met and driven back and absolutely tossed by Julian Neal.
We talk about the group of 5, and at this point in the playoff predictor, who has the best chances? And you know, with Memphis, we talked about the schedule, and it's games at home against Navy, and it's against USF, who obviously we've seen already beat Boise State and already beat Florida. Of course, you get Arkansas here at home as well. Tulane's a team they're going to play at home also. Obviously, you take it one game at a time. This is a major one, though, for Memphis.
Second and 11. Lewis taken down. He is torn down by Quincy Rhodes.
Well, nobody blocked Quincy Rhodes that time coming off the ball. Everybody from Memphis's O-line is sliding to their right, and they completely forget about this guy right here. He just comes off the ball and just chases down the quarterback and gets the second sack now in 2 drives. Pass rush was a problem. That was a question mark. Arkansas is answering that here early in the second half.
Seems every SEC program every year has an athlete like Quincy Rhodes, 6'6", 275, get off the bus first. He's the get off the bus first guy for Arkansas. Here's Sutton Smith as he wiggles his way inside the 30-yard line, tackled by Worth.
Okay, now you come on, you kick the field goal. Ryan Silverfield, he's been aggressive. He's taken chances. He's tried onside kicks. He's tried double passes. Kick the field goal. You make this a one-possession game. Lots of football still to go here. I like the call. Gianni Spedic already missed early in the first half. This is another long field goal for their kicker.
47-yard attempt for Spedic. And he puts it through. And with that, halfway through this third quarter, it's an 8-point margin as the Arkansas defense came up big thanks to Quincy Rhodes to help stall out that Memphis drive, hold them to 3.
ABC College Football, presented by Starbucks, is brought to you by Ram Trucks, official sponsor of the College Football Playoff. Nothing stops Ram.
Got a good game here in Memphis, Arkansas by 8. And of course, tonight it'll be on the new ESPN Enhanced at WrestlePalooza. And Jesse, there is Io Sky making her arrival there in Indianapolis. She takes on Stephanie Vaquer tonight for the women's world title on ESPN at 7 o'clock, WrestlePalooza. She is unbelievable high flyer.
I know a lot of people think just as a pure wrestler,
yes,
she is the most talented female wrestler in the WWE.
So you will see Io Sky in action tonight on WrestlePalooza, as here is the guy that has been wrestling with this game right here, Talon Green, in that Arkansas offense heading back out there.
That's what they got to avoid, 3rd and long situations. Yep. That's the only thing that's been holding them back, and there's pressure on them on this drive, Joe. They've got to answer. They gave up a touchdown at the end of the first half. Memphis just kicked a field goal. The momentum is squarely on the side of Memphis right now, playing at home. Talon Green has to lead this offense down the field to score points.
Oh, Washington is tackled for a loss by Whitlow.
Yeah, William Whitlow at 260 pounds is really good at making himself skinny. He just completely split the left tackle and the left guard and just sliced into the backfield and make this stop. Really good job. Wasn't even touched virtually, and a first-team all-conference performer a year ago for Memphis makes a big play in the backfield. And we talked about Arkansas. You got to avoid 3rd and long. That's not a good start and way to do it.
2nd and 13. Talon Green with time, and he gets it complete, and it's Raylan Sharp. That's first completion after 5 straight incompletions for Green.
Yeah, they're trying to find the middle of the field here in attack. They've had some success doing that. Raylan Sharp, not the biggest receiver, only 5'9", 169, but a guy who's dangerous in space. And after giving up the negative play, it's nice to just be able to bounce back from that and just stroke one for a big completion downfield to move the stakes.
17 yards on the completion. He pulls it, but Green can't find much of anything there at all. Drew Watts was just waiting on him.
Yeah, and it was one of those where I don't know if Talon Green even knew whether he should hand that off or whether he shouldn't.
See Green a little slow to get up at the end of this play.
Take a look at this again as he's running out wide, nowhere to go. He goes down, and maybe some people who wonder in our truck right now, is that a late hit? I don't think so. I think that's pretty clean.
Had a lot of guys converging on him there. Leaves him with a 2nd and 10. Green.
Wow.
Gets it complete, and it's Jones again. What a day for Rohan Jones.
And that is another outstanding throw. This time by Green on the run. He's got to lay that over top, essentially, of 2 defenders. It's Jeremiah Jordan and another DB on the back end, Chris Bracey. Jones rolling out on the corner throw. Look at this. Just rolls it over top of 2 guys. He had an unbelievable throw early in the game deep to Omega Blake that got broken up. That one might have been better.
Washington can't go anywhere. Another outstanding TFL from Drew Watts. But just to get back to Jones for a moment, he now has 102 yards receiving, 2 catches. The spectacular touchdown to start the game, and he has the touchdown run.
And I'm not sure Memphis's coaching staff probably would have pointed out Rohan Jones as a key guy they had to stop in this one. You're thinking, okay, we got to slow down Green. We got to slow down Russell and Washington. Yeah, maybe Omega Blake. But you've seen the tight ends from Arkansas over and over again make plays.
Second and 17. Green, they tried to set up the blocker in front for Sharp, but they couldn't connect. So leave them at third and very long.
Yeah, and third down's been a problem. They have not yet converted a third down in this game. And I like the idea of getting Talon Green out on the edge and giving him an option to either throw it or run it. It's been in these situations that Memphis has dialed up the pressure. Arkansas hasn't been able to sort it out up front, and there's been some confusion. I think if you get Green on the perimeter, you let that athleticism take over.
Haven't converted a third down today. 0 for 4. Third down and 17. Incomplete. The Memphis defense does it again. That was Chris Bracey there defensively against Platt.
Aggressive play calling. Cover 0. You're bringing 7 guys, one more that Arkansas can block. So Talon Green has got to get it out of his hands. And Chris Bracey, who got benched in a game earlier against Georgia State this season, makes a big pass breakup to Platt, now forcing a field goal attempt.
That brings on Scott Starzyk, who was the #1 ranked kicker coming out of high school against Ole Miss. He missed 2 field goals and they lost by 6. This a 46-yard attempt. Great lift and rotation as he puts it right on through, and it's back to an 11-point lead for Arkansas.
And that's the answer Arkansas's offense needed. They needed to be able to go down the field, get some points, some big plays on offense, gives them a bit of padding here in Memphis.
Remember, ABC continues all day long with great action. We got Auburn and Oklahoma. I'm so looking forward to this game coming up at 3:30. And then this Miami team that has been so impressive. #4 Miami hosting Florida. Saturday Night Football presented by Capital One from Miami. That is coming your way. We've got a 31-20 game here. And as for that game we mentioned with Auburn, Oklahoma, Molly, what's going on there?
Well, Tess, Auburn quarterback Jackson Arnold walked out onto the field to a chorus of boos, and Arnold felt the need to address his team this morning, telling them that his return to Oklahoma was not going to be a distraction and won't affect the way that he plays. So you got to think his play in the run game, Jesse, is going to be a big factor in this one.
It's a really good observation, Molly. There is no question. That's part of what makes him so dangerous. He'll have to do it in designed runs and in scrambles. But to me, Joe, part of what makes Auburn so dangerous offensively is the talent they have at receiver.
Yes.
Eric Singleton Jr., the transfer from Georgia Tech, Cam Coleman. They've got dudes outside that can win one-on-one. Jackson Arnold has to take advantage of those.
Remember, Cam Coleman was such a massive recruit for Hugh Freeze. He landed him. You can build things around him on the outside. But it's such a great backstory when it comes to Jackson Arnold returning back to Oklahoma today.
Defense 2 for disconcerting signals. It's a 5-yard penalty. First down.
There's Jackson Arnold leading Auburn, now a ranked Auburn team against #11 Oklahoma. That's coming your way, 3:30 on ABC.
Just can't imagine the emotion and everything he's going to have to juggle in that game, going back to Norman against his old head coach, Brent Venables.
Yeah, you see the struggles he had with his QBR while he was a Sooner, and now he's lighting it up as an Auburn Tiger. And this is Bussey downfield, and Bussey nearly busting loose. And there was a big chunk play for Memphis.
And there was a coverage bust on the back end that time for Arkansas. Nobody in the middle of the field handling Bussey. You'll just see him in the slot. He's just running a seam route. The free safety ran with the in cut. And that's the best play they've had throwing the football, and very lucky with the shoestring tackle, preventing a touchdown.
Lewis, he's got blockers in front as he runs. And Lewis will get ahead right to that line to gain.
I love that play call there, because right after the explosive, you come back up to the line of scrimmage, and now Arkansas is on their heels. So they're like, we're going to drop 8 guys into coverage, only rush 3, and it's the perfect defense to dial up the QB draw. 2 really good play calls back to back by Memphis's offensive coordinator, Tim Cramsey.
A 40-yard pass moments ago, the longest play of the game for Memphis. GWES is tackled for a loss. That entire front, and Danny Saili making the tackle there.
Go back to the coverage bus. There's an in route here, and the safety just bites with that. And there's no one in the middle of the field back for Memphis. This is what absolutely killed them in their loss against Ole Miss. They handed the Rebels so many points in that game. They should be 3-0. But in the back end, they were supposed to simplify things, get the calls in sooner. But they've got to do a better job in the back end of just playing their assignments.
2nd and 12. Lewis sprint right. Gets it into space to Braham, and Braham spinning for extra yardage as he gets it down towards the 10-yard line. That's where the sticks were.
I'll go back to it again. It's been a different Brendan Lewis, and I think you're seeing his maturity pay off here in a massive game. We've talked about the impact this has on the college football playoff. Playing against an SEC opponent, they've been down by a lot. Brendan Lewis has missed some throws earlier in the game, but he never got in the tank. He's just kept battling. He's kept competing. He's showing his poise and his playmaking ability.
First and goal. Quarterback run. Lewis right into the end zone. Brendan Lewis with the touchdown run. And with a chance to pull to within a field goal, they will keep the offense on the field and go for 2.
The QB run just worked there. I mean, why not try it again? That was outstanding blocking up front by Memphis. I mean, they're a bit banged up. They're not 100% healthy. But up against this big physical D-line from Arkansas, man, they're getting some movement. I think if I'm Tim Cramsey here, I'm not opposed to letting number 2 at quarterback run this one again.
Go for Dose is brought to you by Dos Equis, the 2-point attempt for Memphis to try to make it a 3-point game. Lewis to the end zone, incomplete. That was batted away by Julian Neal, as Braham was the intended target.
Well, it's just picture perfect by the right side of Memphis's offensive line on that last QB run. He bashed him with the QB draw earlier. This time, you're getting 2 slam downs here, and then you get the kick out block to the outside. Just great angles by Memphis in the running game. And Lewis just following Frank Peasant, 205-pound tailback. Kind of had a feeling coming into this one. Obviously, Memphis wanted to run the football, but Brendan Lewis was going to have to carry it a lot himself. And he's a big physical guy. There was the 2-point attempt knocked away by Julian Neal. But for Lewis, like throughout his career, he's carried the ball 18 times in a game, a couple of times. He can take it on. He's only 210 pounds. I get it. He's not the biggest in the country. But in a game like this, I think it just becomes whatever it takes, right? That already is 12th carry in the game.
(31-26). Let's go to the studio. Kevin, what's going on?
That's AT&T is keeping fans connected as we take a look at our multi-view showcasing a bunch of great games across our networks. Left corner, we're keeping an eye on the weather delay right now at Clemson. The Tigers down by 10 to Syracuse. Really good one in the Iron Skillet over on ESPN2. And we got a great matchup coming your way over an hour. In Norman, John Mateer entering as the Heisman favorite. 9 straight games with a passing and rushing touchdown. Longest streak in the FBS since 2020. Right now, back to you.
That is coming up. Auburn and Oklahoma. Taylon Green on first down. Tons of time to get it downfield and get it to Raylan Sharp.
And I think that time Taylon Green got to his 4th read.
Flag back at the 20.
As there is a flag down on the play. But that was a really nice job working through.
Holding. Offense number 52. A 10-yard penalty. First down.
It's called on Caden Kittler, the transfer from UCF up at center. But on this play, I mean, he starts looking over here and he gets all the way back over, finding the dig route on the other side of the field. There's the hold on Puda Walker. And Arkansas going backwards. You got to give it to Memphis too, Joe. They keep putting pressure on Arkansas's offense. They score a TD at the end of the half. They kick a field goal. Now they score a touchdown, and it's right back on Taylon Green now, trying to fight this crowd noise on the road. Generate some momentum.
Green on 1st and 20. In stride, Jalen Brown.
Well, that's one way to quiet him down. You got Jalen Brown in the slot, running a deep cross route, and another beautiful ball where he just rolls this right into the hands of his receiver in stride. That's a big moment for Jalen Brown. He was the guy that fumbled late in the game against Ole Miss, a game they lost, but the Florida State transfer coming up with a big one.
There's Braylon Russell. Yep, that's what happened a week ago. They were driving late in the 4th quarter. They were down by only 6. They looked like they were gathering momentum going in to win the game when Jalen Brown fumbled the ball away. So a nice moment for him to bounce back with a play like that here today.
Well, you got to give them credit. You got to give the coaching staff credit and Jalen Brown credit too, because we talked to Sam Pittman. He said his team came right back to work. They watched the film, corrected the things they had to correct, and they got their focus in on Memphis. A lot of teams would have a hard time after that hangover losing the way they did. Not the case at Arkansas.
Talon Green, final seconds of the 3rd quarter, extending the play. And then throwing it away. Sam Brumfeld, veteran linebacker, leads the team in tackles and sacks, was pursuing.
One thing about Memphis's defense is that they don't go away, right? They just don't quit. And they may not be the biggest and they may not be the most talented, but these guys play extremely hard for Jordan Hankins. And if you had told them, hey, the end of the 3rd quarter, this thing's a 5-point game, and you're just battling, they would take it heading into the 4th.
Jordan Hankins, a defensive coordinator whose defense has been great on 3rd down. Arkansas's 0 for 5 on 3rd down. Now facing a 3rd and 8, last play of the 3rd quarter. Green drives the ball and gets it complete to Blake. And they will move the chains with that. We will get to the 4th quarter with Arkansas driving with a 5-point lead. The American Conference on ABC, presented by Starbucks, returns after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Welcome back to Memphis. I'm on the sidelines with Ryan Silverfield. Coach, what do you need to see from your defense here to keep this a one-possession game?
We got to get a stop. Clearly, we're giving up too many explosives. We're having some good negative plays against them in TFLs, but now we got to go out there and can't give up another explosive.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Remember, 2019, Memphis makes it to the Cotton Bowl. Mike Norvell goes to Florida State, and Ryan Silverfield promoted from within. And all they've done is won and won more and win again. And right now they got a 5-point game against a very good SEC offense opposite them to start this 4th quarter. Talon Green. Incomplete, but nearly intercepted as Kamari Wilson was closing in on it.
That's a play Kamari Wilson has to make. That time Green was staring down Omega Blake on the over route all the way. He just cut in front of it. Oh, and he had a chance to come up with the 2nd interception for this defense, and that might have been a game changer.
Second and 10. Green may have been just a little bit of confusion with Braylon Russell, the big running back there.
Yeah, it looked like there was, and it now sets up another 3rd down. This has been the problem area for Arkansas, and I think if you're Memphis, you know, you're dialing up pressure somewhere. Can Arkansas's O-line, can they find a way to pick it up? You're going to see all the slants and all the movements up front. They've got to be communicating and give Talon Green an opportunity.
Remember, Arkansas was #2 in the country on 3rd down conversion, but today just 1 of 6. 3rd and 6 for the Hogs. Talon Green, it's intercepted! It is intercepted, and it's Kamari Wilson who does it.
Kamari Wilson, Joe, the guy who just dropped the interception, makes the big one this time. And I don't know how Talon Green didn't see him. It's as if he was staring right at him the entire way. He's trying to go to Omega Blake on a little curl route. And it's Kamari Wilson who's just able to step in front of it and make the big play. We've seen some very questionable decisions from Talon Green throughout this game, and that is a critical turnover in the red zone.
The transfer from Arizona State for Coach Silverfield's defense comes up huge, and now this team that the playoff predictor gives the best percentage to make the college football playoff this season, has the ball, trailing Arkansas by 5 in the fourth quarter as Brendan Lewis scoots out of bounds, pursued by Cam Ball.
All right, so to go back to what's working now, if you're Memphis with this opportunity, run, some QB runs, you're eating the clock, you're forcing Arkansas's defense to stay on the field. You're playing the long game here, but this is exactly where Memphis wants them. And they've got all the momentum here in the second half, and a big reason why, the decision-making right now by Brendan Lewis.
You see the success they've had at home against the SEC, the success they've had at home overall defending the home turf. 9 straight wins here at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. 2nd and 7. Lewis so good with the legs as he just took Quincy Rhodes for a ride, and it's a first down Tigers.
And it's a good decision. Arkansas drops 8 into coverage. There's nowhere to go with it, so take off and get what you can. We talked about Brendan Lewis being a strong runner. Quincy Rhodes weighs 65 more pounds than he does, and he's piggybacking him forward, picking up a first down.
8-yard run and a first down for Memphis. Sutton Smith, as Smith will have another first down for Memphis.
Really nice block by Chris Adams at left tackle. He went down at the end of the first half with an injury. He's working against Quincy Rhodes one-on-one. He's probably not 100% himself, but he got a great block there to the left-hand side right in here, which helps Sutton Smith get that edge. If you're going to be able to run to the outside, you have to be able to seal the edges. And right now, Memphis doing a good job of that in the run game.
Sealing that edge by Adams. Made for an 11-yard run for Sutton Smith. Play action, Lewis. Fighting for the ball, and it is picked off by Julian Neal. It was a one-on-one battle against Bussey, and Julian Neal comes up with the interception for Arkansas.
And that was the deal where who wants it more? Bussey, it looked like, got behind Julian Neal, but the ball hung up in the air a really long time. Bussey wasn't able to high point it. Julian Neal did. And after throwing an interception, Arkansas's defense comes up big, getting one back of their own, still on top here in the fourth quarter in Memphis.
6'2" corner against a 5'11" receiver, and that's the result. INT. For 20 years, All-State has celebrated every field goal and extra point made at participating universities by donating to the University Athletics Scholarship Fund, supporting all student athletes, and we thank All-State for that. So Arkansas with the ball after the turnover. Bringing the heat is brought to you by the Sonic Smasher.
Wild sequence here in the last 2 drives. First, the Taylon Green interception, Kamari Wilson picking it off, and then only a few plays later, Brendan Lewis taking a shot. It's Julian Neal, the taller corner, over the receiver, snagging one himself, giving the ball back to Arkansas. So lots of drama here in the fourth quarter.
Each team with a turnover in the second half. Taylon Green checks down to Mike Washington. Washington able to spin and get a few extra yards.
I think Arkansas has to be able to run the ball, and they haven't had the success they're accustomed to having. They've been held to under 100 yards rushing in this game. You got to give Memphis's defense tons of credit. They are a bit undersized, but they're flying around creating chaos. And what a big moment here on a 3rd and short for them to try to make another stop and get the ball back.
Mike Washington, the starting running back, only has 12 rushing yards. He is in there on 3rd and 2. Think about you see the numbers there, the type of 3rd down team they've been this year compared to today. Green pulls it. It was the right decision, and with those long strides, he gobbles up field.
He does such a good job with the slow mesh and the running back, and it just fools everyone on defense thinking Washington has it. Just watch how long this ball is in the belly, pulls it out at the last second. 3 defenders run with Washington, and then Taylon Green able to use his speed around the outside. He's got really good fundamentals and ball handling mechanics on these zone read meshes.
And you saw Jaden Platt finding work downfield and getting the best of Cooper.
But this is how you ice games, Joe. I mean, with leads late in the fourth quarter like this, 5-point lead, you just want to be able to bleed the clock, and you do that by getting it done on the ground. And they've got a variety of guys that can do it. We've talked about Washington. We talked about Braylon Russell. Taylon Green, I think, keeping the ball a bit more often here on these final drives would serve this offense well.
Been an interesting early afternoon here in Memphis. This Arkansas team that came in with this loaded offense. This Memphis team searching for their first 4-0 start since 2019, and all the prospect of what could be ahead this season as a Group of 5 contender to make the college football playoff, and back and forth they've gone.
I like that play call. It's an RPO where it's designed run, but if Taylon Green decides he's got a better look and option outside, spitting it out to Omega Blake, he's going to take it. And that little play right there, that's like a sweep play essentially. Now setting up third and very manageable.
Third down and 10. Green. Can he do it with his legs with ease and more? Look at Taylon Green. A flag is down back at the 32-yard line. We will check on that.
I think it's going to be holding on Omega Blake from Arkansas. Tangled up one-on-one. It might be defensive holding because it looked like the defender was also tugging him as well.
Holding, offense number 9, 10-yard penalty. It's still third down.
Take a look at Omega Blake here. He's on the outside. He's running a route not open. He kind of gets swarmed and bear hugged by the defender there, and then just a little tug at that last second. Defender knew it right away, and that calls back the long run by Taylon Green.
So that brings the ball back to the 45-yard line. The 37 is the line to gain. Wipes out the long run. Under 9 minutes to play, just a 5-point game. Green back to pass. And he gets it complete for a first down to Omega Blake.
Wow, and that was a very tight window there, throwing a curl route. He fit this thing in between 2 Memphis defenders over to the right-hand side. He's gotten himself in trouble throwing a couple picks early for bad decision-making, but that had conviction written all over it. Beautiful throw.
So they were 2 for 2 now, Jesse, on third down on this drive. They started the game 0 for 6 on third down, and they get that third down conversion. And now Green trying to find a rhythm. He wants more, and it's incomplete as he was looking for Jalen Brown.
Amarian Cooper, the transfer from Florida State, in coverage there, doing a really nice job. Cooper was highly recruited coming out of high school, Joe. The number 9 rated corner coming out here, just one-on-one on the outside, and a little bit of hand fighting. He never gets the head turned around, but ultimately this ball gets knocked away, incomplete.
Amarian Cooper was part of that Florida State Seminoles defense that lost at home to Memphis. And now here he is in his first year playing for the Tigers. Second down and 10. Washington cuts back inside. Instead of losing yardage, he's able to gain 2.
All right, now you set up another third down here, and I think part of the problem if you're Memphis is in coverage. Who are you deciding to take away? I think Taylon Green's done a pretty good job so far in this game, distributing the ball to a lot of different guys. 7 different players have caught passes for Arkansas's offense. It's been pretty balanced. I think Omega Blake is number 9 is the guy you think about on the perimeter, but you got Jalen Brown on the other side. You got CJ Brown in the slot. Not an obvious choice. We've seen the tight ends have success catching the ball in this game as well. Crowd
rallying support for their defense. Can Memphis come up with a stop on 3rd and 8? And they do. As Taylon Green goes down, Cruz Law was right on top of him.
Cruz Law, this is something you see in the National Football League from linebackers, but Cruz Law, the UNC transfer, is going to fake like he's dropping into zone coverage, and then at the last second he's blitzing. Watch him go backwards, the offensive line splits, and he gets to Taylon Green. Joe, I took the second hardest hit of my life against Ray Lewis. He did exactly that. That's like PTSD for me.
Yeah, I don't even know how you're standing here speaking coherently next to me right now, just hearing that.
That was not a lot of fun.
So it backs them up and forces Devin Bale on to punt away. Bale will look to pin here. Sutton Smith is going to clear out, and it is inside the 10. The defense came up big. Cruz Law with the sack for the Tigers, and Memphis has the ball under 6.5 to play. Only trailing by 5 points here at home. We got drama coming your way.
ABC College Football is presented by the Starbucks Coffee Company.
The interceptions we've had here is Kamari Wilson for Memphis, and then Julian Neal for Arkansas, and this is how it sets up. You see the struggles on third downs. You see the scoreboard that reads 31-26 with under 6.5 minutes to play. A Memphis team that's so well coached. They put forth such a good culture here for so many years. First Mike Norvell, and then Ryan Silverfield has really accelerated things, and this would be a massive opportunity to grab a signature win. Brendan Lewis from his own goal line as he gives them breathing room and a lot more, and spins his way out past the 28-yard line.
That's the second or third time in the second half Arkansas has decided to drop 8 guys in coverage, and it's opening up huge creases for Brendan Lewis to just take off. There's a bubble to his left, a bubble to his right to go run. And listen, if they're going to take the lead and score a touchdown on this drive, they're going to have to go 94 yards, but that's a really good start to get the momentum going.
Lewis, there's pressure right up the middle.
And Arkansas needs more of that. They already have 3 sacks in this game. That time Quincy Rhodes stunting in between. He's beating the center across his face. You just got to get Brandon Lewis off his mark. They haven't been able to get there enough. Sam Pittman wants more pressure, and it's hard now, Joe. We're in the 4th quarter. This defense has played a lot of snaps, and this is the hottest it's been all day by far.
Second down and 10. They'll reverse that orbit motion. Lewis has time to think about an option, and he goes back to the right side of the field to Braham.
It's a really good throw, and a nice job by Braham coming back to the football. These 2 guys linked up a ton last year at Nevada, and here they are now in Memphis. The game on the line late. Of course, Braham had the big touchdown catch at the end of the first half, but they've got a connection. They've got chemistry. And these 2 need to be on the same page on this drive.
He has targeted him 8 times in this game. And now a 3rd down and 2. Oh, Sutton Smith, after a bad mesh, comes up with a huge play. Sutton Smith, the Tigers are roaring at home.
And what an unbelievable individual effort by Sutton Smith. Xavier Sorey here is going to have an opportunity to make the tackle, but the 185-pound Smith just stiff arms him right in the face. Bounces it to the outside, and then he shows you the wheels. He has been hitting home runs early this year. This is a guy that got injured early in the first game last season, missed the rest of the year. His first carry of this season was the 35-yard touchdown, and the biggest run of the year so far for Memphis comes at a time when they needed it the most.
Their 5th explosive play of the game of over 20 yards. And now the 2-point attempt to try to make it a field goal margin. Lewis to the end zone, and it's incomplete.
Nice play by Larry Worth. He was trying to get looked off. Ended up breaking it up, but it's Sutton Smith giving Memphis the 1-point lead. We've got drama.
Great way to start our day of college football, and it just keeps getting better because there's Jackson Arnold. Of course, he was such a huge recruit coming out of Denton, Texas when he decided to go to Oklahoma. Now he returns to Oklahoma as Auburn's star quarterback, Jesse. That game's at 3:30.
I can't wait. The cat and mouse game between him and his old coach, Brent Venables, calling plays for Oklahoma. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Now, at the time, Memphis, we'll go back earlier today. Remember, they did have the missed field goal earlier today, so there's points they could have had added to this current 1-point lead. But at the time, they were coming back. They were going for 2. They came up 0 for 2 on the 2-point conversions. That is why we have just a 1-point margin right now, a 1-point lead for Memphis, 32-31 with under 5 minutes to play. Longest active win streak in FBS. Talon Green taking his time, looking for an option and overthrowing Jaden Platt.
It was Puda Walker, though, at nose guard that was able to get him off his mark, and he missed up the rhythm in that throw that time. He didn't get the sack, but he just forced Talon Green to have to hold on to it an extra split second, and then there was the errant throw. I still think Arkansas has got to find a way to run the ball, Joe. They can't just drop back every single time against this 3-3-5 defense. It does such a good job disguising their coverages and their pressures. It's been giving Talon Green in the passing game issues all day.
Mike Washington with a blocker in front as Washington gets the first down for Arkansas.
I like that. Get back to the run game with the big fellas, and you're pulling your right guard, and you're pulling their left guard. 55 Carmona, you see him right there. He's able to seal and open up a big crease for Washington to run through. Arkansas is not going to be in a hurry here. They're going to let the clock bleed down as far as it can go. But I think they've got to be physical. This is where you have to win in the trenches if you're going to come back and win this thing.
So Kobe Branham as well getting out in front on that last run play that went for 17 yards. Green quick to the outside as he gets it to a Mega Blake. He's out to the 49-yard line. See the far sideline pointing down, thinking they had a play on the ball there at the end of that play.
Saying he fumbled, and
the ruling on the field was the runner's knee was down.
This is close, Joe, because Drew Watts comes flying in at linebacker to make a tackle, and for a second the ball gets away from Omega Blake.
2nd and 3. Washington again. Mike Washington with a good run, and the Hogs are on the go.
Yeah, those big bodies up front now are getting push, and they're starting to figure out some of this movement and the slanting up front from Memphis. This going to the left. You get Washington up on the safety, Kamari Wilson, and he goes up and over to move the chains.
Another 12-yard run there. Now out of the backfield is Washington.
Good decision by Talon Green. He was hot that time. Memphis bringing pressure. Kamari Wilson at safety on the blitz. Coming from this side, his answer is the running back Washington in the flat. There's just no hesitation. Get it out quick and early and just let him go work in space. Really good decision there, and having a nice answer and knowing where your answer is built in against pressure.
See the concern on the home fans. Trying to come up with a defensive stop as Mike Washington is having his way against this defense on this drive.
It really is, and they're running to the perimeter, Joe. We saw a big run to the left earlier. This time now running to the right. It's the outside stretch zone that's working. I think Arkansas, you let this thing go down to the 2-minute timeout. Regroup. Think about the strategy here. I got to imagine that includes just running the football as long as you can. Take as many seconds off this clock as possible.
Coming to the 2-minute timeout. Arkansas has put themselves in position to retake the lead. How will it all play out here in Memphis? We find out when we return. Well, last week against Ole Miss, Scott Starzik, the true freshman kicker, he missed from 51 early in the game. And then, end of the third quarter, he missed from 49. So he missed those 2 field goals. They lost by 6. Today, he's 1 for 1. He made a 46-yarder. He's a true freshman. Jamie Cole, who's the kicking guru, Cole's Kicking, had him as the #1 kicker in the class of 2025. He's got pure talent. Will they put him in position for the game winner here?
Illegal substitution. Offense. 12 players breaking the huddle. It's a 5-yard penalty.
Come off a 2-minute timeout.
How does that happen offensively coming out of a timeout? How do you send 12 guys out into the huddle? That is a massive mistake for Arkansas here. You're going to see them break the huddle. I think it was Jalen Brown, number 17. He's like, wait a minute, where am I lining? I'm not supposed to be. And he's running off the field. That's a big-time 5-yard penalty at a critical moment.
Jesse, if you were them, how do you manage things?
I'm running the ball to the left, and first and foremost, getting this thing centered for my kicker to give him the best opportunity.
And that is where Mike Washington goes, as he does have the first down. Memphis, of course, has the 3 timeouts.
This is where Bobby Petrino can help out the kicker. And I know certain kickers like right hash, left hash. He just showed the misses they had against Ole Miss. One was from the right, one was from the left. But when you get in closer, it's easier to make the kicks when you're in the middle of the field. You want to make it as close to a PAT as possible. And I got to be honest, Joe, a little surprised here. Memphis not calling any timeouts.
Sam Pittman, veteran coach, got this talented offense opposite a feisty Memphis team today as Washington takes it straight ahead. May not need the kicker if Washington keeps running like that, Jesse.
Yeah, well, Memphis finally now takes their first timeout. And to me, I'm thinking, look, I don't know if we're going to be able to stop them running the football. They're probably going to get a field goal attempt. I got to anticipate that they may retake the lead, but I got to save myself as many seconds as I can to have an opportunity to have Brendan Lewis lead us down the field. I think that was a missed opportunity, calling a timeout a little bit too late.
Scott Starzik awaits. Sam Pittman, he said last week that loss to Ole Miss, and he said that one stung. It took a couple days of guys just resetting the mindset. Then they had middle of the week really strong practices, knowing you're coming here to Memphis, of a team that from the group of 5 believes that they can be the team to make the college football playoff as a conference champion. And they have fought back in this second half to take a 1-point lead before this long sustained drive by Arkansas.
And I think if you're Arkansas, you don't necessarily want to leave it up to Starzik at kicker. If you can end this thing running the football, this offensive line can get a push. We talked about Fernando Carmona, some of the physical guys they've got up front. They'd like to put this in their own hands. They've run the same running play the last 2 plays. They're lined up in the exact same formation again.
Washington again, he's met, but he does surge ahead to what should be a first down. He was met by Cruz Law.
Memphis is saying they've got the football.
They are claiming they have the football, as the officials are looking to separate the players.
I think Washington was down. The ball did come out after his elbow went down.
Did the referees
just signal Memphis ball? The ruling on the field is the ball carrier was down by rule for a first down.
No, the officials at the end of that play said first down Arkansas.
Watch the right elbow. That's the first thing it's going to touch. You can't really see it there. There's a defender coming in. He's able to punch it out.
Wait a minute.
Was that elbow down?
Well, his right knee is on top of a defensive player.
It was Chris Bracey coming in. That ball comes out.
The ruling on the field of the ball carrier being down is under further carrier.
Chris Bracey punches the ball out as you see it on the replay. Matt Austin, our rules expert, what say you?
Yeah, Joe, you're exactly right. The ball is punched out. There's no knee on the ground, no elbow yet. That's a fumble recovered by Memphis.
Watch the right knee, Jesse. It's on top of a player.
It's on top of a player, and there's Bracey knocking it loose. You could not have come up with a bigger play in a bigger moment. For a football team that's trying to not just win the conference, but potentially play in the college football playoff, this is arguably the most important game on their schedule if they're going to accomplish that. Time and time again, Memphis's DBs have come up with big ones. The ball absolutely comes loose before any knee hits the ground or elbow. That should be overturned, and that should become Memphis ball.
Remember the sting we were just describing about last week against Ole Miss when they were driving, when they had momentum, and they fumbled the ball away against Ole Miss. And now here, we wait for this ruling, but it looks clear on the replay that this is going to be a fumble recovery, a forced fumble and recovery by Bracey. And Memphis would be taking over with 1:18 to play.
Well, the call on the field was that he was down, so you need indisputable video evidence to overturn this. I think you have it. It's clear.
That ball is punched out.
After reviewing the play, the runner fumbled the ball prior to being down by rule. It was recovered by Memphis. First down, Memphis.
This place is exploding. They're going nuts here in Memphis as they take over possession with 1:18, looking to slay an SEC team.
They were facing one of the most explosive offenses in the country, and sure, they've given up points, but they've now taken the ball away 3 different times. Now, Arkansas's got 3 timeouts left. So this isn't quite over yet for Memphis. There's still a little bit of work to do. But man, they are on the doorstep of pulling off a massive win here at home.
Ryan Silverfield, who loves coaching hard, keeping them accountable, and playing with passion. That defense was playing with passion right through to the end. Now, how will the offense respond with Arkansas having 3 timeouts remaining? Sutton Smith is tackled at the 5-yard line by Quincy Rhodes.
Man, one thing you have to say about Ryan Silverfield's team, no matter what, they play hard. You just mentioned that, Joe. And this is a team that's obviously won a lot of games. And he's done a great job with his staff over the years. He's done a great job with the portal. They've got 70 new players on this team this year. He's been able to reload that. But these guys play hard. They're not always the most talented. They certainly don't have the best resources in all of college football here at Memphis. But when these guys show up, they play to a standard, and that's why Ryan Silverfield is going to get opportunities to get some power forward jobs after this season. Tremendous fight, tremendous backbone in this one, because there were a couple times Arkansas ripped off some big ones, and you're thinking, oh, okay, Memphis can't withstand now. At some point they got a fold, but they just kept fighting, and they kept fighting. With Arkansas driving here late, they're able to create another takeaway. Now they're just seconds away, moments away, Joe, from pulling this thing off.
It was 28-10 in the second quarter. Memphis had to come up big with a big touchdown. As Brendan Lewis, as he takes it ahead. Remember, now 2 timeouts remaining for Arkansas, so they will exhaust that second. And we've mentioned the sting of last week. A fumble late in the game when you're driving to win the game. This was Jalen Brown last week as Brown fumbled against Ole Miss when they felt so confident with where this was headed.
And what was so frustrating, I think, was even after all the coverage busts and all the defensive penalties on 3rd and 4th down and the missed field goals, they still had an opportunity to win that game. And it's really no different today. You see Washington here on that last drive, the ball coming out. They've turned it over 3 times, and their defense has given up big ones, and still they have the talent to overcome that, but you can't make those critical errors late. Now, 3rd and 8, they got to run the ball again if you're Memphis.
Force the last timeout.
Force the last timeout, and then you're going to have to punt, and you're expecting Arkansas to come after this thing.
No doubt.
On punt. So again, this thing isn't quite over yet.
Oh, no.
And Arkansas may get an opportunity here with some ticks left in Memphis territory with the kicker. We've documented his misses against Ole Miss, but he also drilled a 53-yarder.
Oh, he's got the late
earlier
talent
this year against Alabama A&M. So,
all right, here's your 3rd and 8, Jesse.
Far, far from over. I go QB run. QB run again.
So here's your 3rd and 8.
New quarterback out there. It's Arrington Maiden.
Well, the helmet came off of Brendan Lewis, so Maiden comes in, the redshirt freshman. Coaches are very high on him, but this is a pressure situation on 3rd and 8. And he is going to run it ahead. And look at the extra effort. Look at this effort by Arrington Maiden, who comes into the game and comes up as big as you can. And keep in mind, that's a 390-pounder on the inside of the Arkansas defensive line.
He didn't just run through him, Joe. First, Stephen Dix, a 245-pound linebacker, had a shot at him. Watch number 14 from Arkansas right there. And then he runs into the 390-pound Jaffrard and everybody else and somehow works his way through it all to move the chains, and that's ball game, Joe.
Jaffrard is 6'5", 390 pounds. And the backup quarterback comes into the game on 3rd and 8 to put it away and carries defenders with him for a first down.
In these situations, I don't understand why you just get in victory formation and take a knee. I think about Miami a little while back, running the ball against Georgia Tech in a similar situation. There being a random fumble, and Miami lost the game. I'd love to just see the quarterback under center taking a knee, walk out of here with the W.
They trailed by 18, Jesse. It was 28-10 when they came up with that 38-yard touchdown just before halftime and starting rallying back the whole second half.
This team has shown tremendous fight, tons of mental toughness. Ryan Silverfield here is going to take another timeout to make sure everyone's on the same page, but we talk about it. This is a team that has obviously had a lot of success, back-to-back 10-win seasons. They got a head coach in Ryan Silverfield who's a very, very hot commodity. A bunch of new faces on the field from a year ago, but they're still finding ways to get it done. They've got this schedule that lines up for them to be the non-Power 4 team reaching the college football playoff, and they took a massive step toward that, beating Arkansas here today.
Remember, they have USF here at home. They have Tulane here at home on a Friday night. They have now this win a snap away, thus the best chance of the group of 5 teams to make the college football playoff. American Conference Memphis just beat the SEC's Arkansas Razorbacks. Oh, Arkansas, excuse me, 1 timeout remaining. They're going to have to go back. We're going to have to clear this field of fans. Arkansas did use the timeout there, but Memphis outscoring Arkansas 15-3 in the second half of this game, Jesse.
Just tremendous composure and resolve. And we talked about Brendan Lewis coming over from Nevada, the 6-year senior, in the poise and the leadership, down that much in the second half. Never faltered. And now Memphis has called another timeout. It's a timeout fest late. But really impressed. Just think, 70 new players on your team, and everyone's trying to get familiar with one another. And is there trust? Well, when you play the way you did today and you win games like you did today, I think that says a lot about what they've got in the locker room and how special this team could be this season.
37 transfers this offseason. But we talked to Coach Silverfield about it. He said, you know, I've been here for 10 years. There's a culture here. We understand how to coach them, and the type of kid that comes here understands you're going to be coached really hard. You're going to be held accountable. We have goals to reach, and that's the only way you can do it at Memphis. And that's what they have done consistently now for years. And this one matters greatly. as Sutton Smith will put it away. And let the party begin. From here at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium all the way down to Beale Street, deep into the night, they will be enjoying this one. Brendan Lewis, you can see it on his face. Memphis takes care of business with a 18-point comeback against Arkansas.
So impressive, too, how Memphis just left it out on the field and the aggressive play calling throughout. They were trying onside kicks, double reverse passes, 2-point plays, and in the end, it all worked out for Ryan Silverfield.
Katie's in the middle of it. Katie.
Thanks, Tess. Coach Silverfield, between Bracey's forced fumble, Maiden's first down run, you take down another SEC team. What can you say about your team's fight?
Just so proud of the resilience. You think about what happened at halftime. The guys came out, they continued to believe. It was an ugly first half, but the guys got a lot of heart and grit and integrity. I'm so pleased to be the head coach here. Go Tigers, go.
Congratulations, Coach. Tess.
Impressive stuff from Ryan Silverfield. 32-31, Memphis over Arkansas. Remember, we're not done yet. Next up on ABC, it is Auburn and Oklahoma. For Katie and Jesse, I'm Joe Tessitore. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hey, we're off to WrestlePalooza, my man.
Let's go.
Well, let's get you back to the college football scoreboard studio. Kevin, take it away.
Tess, looking forward to that. See the scene there.